place I thought I'd never see that's lower than the ground. And I'm here to testify, it ain't easy walking blind. They say all wounds heal in time. I'm still waiting on mine. I'm still waiting on mine. I held on for as long as I could last. Thought I had forever, but then it up and passed. Now looking back, all I can say is that I see everything I wanted was right in front of me. And I'm here to testify, it ain't easy walking blind. They say all wounds heal in time. I'm still waiting on mine.
Hello everybody, and thank you for joining us today on Right Side Broadcasting. We are in Duluth, Minnesota, where President Trump will hold a Make America Great Again rally. This will be his first rally after the debates, which were held last night. Unless you've been living under a rock, you know that everybody who's anybody has had their opinions about this, and it's the talk of the town, it's the talk of the nation, probably the talk of the world. And so we will be talking about that today. I'm your host, Mike Nificent, along with my co-pilot here, Liz Willis. And yeah, it's a frosty day for us Southerners here, but for your typical Minnesotan, this is just a typical day. So Liz, what do you think about this weather out here, and what are your general thoughts about everything going on, just all the things?
Yeah, loaded question, but happy to give my honest reviews on everything. First of all, I think it's freezing. We are so lucky because press is inside a hangar, so what you can see, I guess you can't really see the sides of it. We're inside a hangar, which is shielding a good bit of the wind from getting us, which is exactly what was making us so cold. So the people behind us, like the ones that you're actually able to see, President Trump supporters, I don't know how they're doing it, honestly. Like, you know how supportive we are of him, but that's insane. So as I normally give him like 10 points for coming to these things and waiting hours and hours, I'm giving him 20 points today because this is taking a different level of commitment to stand in that wind. But like you said, I guess they are used to it. I did see one guy wearing a t-shirt, and that was it. It looked like he was a grandfather, and it looked like he had like a grandchild, and it looked like the grandchild had his jacket on, so that was nice of him. But at the same time, I'm like, dude, you're gonna get sick. He didn't seem to be bothered. He wanted to make sure his grandchild was warm, and they were just rushing up front to get to his seat. So again, we're in Duluth, Minnesota. President Trump is scheduled to speak at 8 p.m. These are all Central times, so we have a little bit of time before he takes the stage, and we are just here to show you guys exactly how it fills up. It's a really neat, I guess, decoration venue for today. Behind me, you can see that there are different logging trucks with different poles, cuts of timber that are on them already, and there are new banners that this is the first time I've seen. It says "Make Logging Great Again," so very interesting, very cool. We know that President Trump touched a lot about logging, forest management last night during the debates, which we'll get into in just a minute. But again, this is definitely going to be a great step for him, being the first rally coming out of the presidential debate, talking so much about forest management. Signs that say "Make Logging Great Again." They are absolutely awesome. I am from a family of pine tree farmers who do not know, so that is my history. It is my future. I love my pine trees, and I really want one of those flags. So campaign, if you're watching, you know what to do. Mike, okay, I touched a little bit on the debates last night. We watched them. We had about 2 hours where we made sure that we were all sitting down, happily fed, watching these debates. What was your overall consensus? Then I'll give you mine, and then we can argue about it.
Oh, man. Well, I've been thinking about what I would say after that debate last night, because I honestly don't know what to say. I will say this, though. I think that everybody, regardless of their side of the aisle, was expecting something different, because we've been anticipating this forever. It feels like we've been waiting for this moment, and I think everybody was expecting to be entertained, one way or the other, and it was anything but. I think it was, at times, it was very just hard to follow, quite honestly. Before I even chime in and give my take on it, I just felt like it was hard to follow. It wasn't very well organized. I think the moderator was terrible. I mean, and that's putting it lightly. I'm sure people have tons of other opinions about it. But I thought that the president, despite all of the turmoil and the chaos and the fact that he was debating the moderator as well as Joe Biden, he held his own. You know, for all of his flaws, because we're all flawed. President Trump is flawed just like everyone else, and I think that's why people like him, honestly, because he shows his flaws. Like, we don't need him to be perfect, right? Despite all of that, he held his own, and I found it refreshing to have a president that, even though I don't agree with everything he says, he is honest, he's genuine, and he's not controlled. And we saw that last night. Joe Biden was very much controlled. He stayed within the realms of what his handlers told him to say. He didn't go anywhere far. He stayed away from top. He stood his ground, stuck to his guns, and his America First agenda shone. It shined in that debate. I mean, he was necessary, and even though Chris Wallace came and rescued Biden as he almost fell over the edge, President Trump did good, and I'm looking forward to the next debate, honestly. And I think I have tons of more thoughts, but once I
flowing to touch base, he's not able to be controlled. I support that. I think you're right. However, I think that he controlled himself a little bit last night in two areas that we talked about. China virus once. You said he might have said it. I don't know. I need to go back and watch it. China plague. And he didn't call him Sleepy Joe. So he didn't personally attack the former vice president, which I think is great. I think that's very noble, considering how he normally is with the names. And it was actually the former vice president who was name calling last night. I don't think that the presidential debate stage is the place for that. I think it is a place where you do need to reel it in and be a little bit more presidential. I know President Trump says he doesn't like to be presidential. It's easier to be himself. But I don't think that really was a place to call someone a clown or tell someone to shut up. I think President Trump, like you said, it was a lot of back and forth. I could have really used subtitles last night. Chris Wallace, he must be exhausted from carrying Joe Biden on his back all night. It was ridiculous. But overall, whether or not the points got across, President Trump laid out a lot of facts, his agenda, his plans. And when Joe Biden was asked similar questions, he actually just roundabouted every single answer. It was like if giving the most politically correct, he would not say, I support law enforcement, refused to say the words law enforcement. President Trump touched on that. He refused to answer about how Biden got hundreds of millions of dollars from overseas. Let's see, he could not name a single law enforcement union that supported him. He wouldn't give his ideas on, or he said he didn't back the Green New Plan, which he originally, his vice president is one of the leading senators for AOC's Green New Plan, so this doesn't really make sense. Nothing that he said makes sense. Everything, his health care plan, none of it. He just wanted to talk about being the vice president and being in politics, but with 47 years, once again, nothing to show for it. And he didn't answer any of my questions last night, not a single one, except he did make it clear that he wants to raise my taxes. So I guess that was my takeaway from last night.
You know, now that I've got my creative juices flowing, you helped me out so much. Liz helped me out. Okay, so here's another thing too. When I think about how chaotic everything was last night, it really made me think about that's where our country is. That was kind of a little microcosm of where our country is right now. We're fighting, we're divided, we're not talking, and when we are talking, we're talking over each other. We're not having civil discourse right now, and that matriculated all the way up to our president and the presidential candidate. I mean, for everything that President Trump has been through, him and his family, quite frankly, I mean, there've been attacks on his son, his his wife. They make fun of her accent. Like, the media has absolutely just disparaged this family. And for him to be as calm as he was, considering that he got a little bit, you know.
I would have lost it.
Yeah.
I for sure would have lost my temper. Being 2 against 1, getting dumped on, I think that's human reflex to fight or flight. I think given the circumstance, given the temper that we know and we've seen, I think he did astronomically well for President Trump.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I would say that he did better than I could do in a situation like that. If the media were constantly attacking me and my family and lying on me and trying to destroy my life, ultimately, not just remove me from office because they didn't agree with my political stances, but they actually want to destroy the president. They want to destroy his supporters. And, you know, a lot of that is part of the reason why I wear this Make America Great Again hat, like up on stage with everyone else out there. I want them to know that we are going to cover the president fairly. A lot of the media, they're looking to take little viral clips and spin them and, you know, ultimately create false narratives. That's what they've been doing for the past 4 years. And you saw that come up in the debate last night. You know, you talk about the Charlottesville, the good people on both sides. That was a hoax. Like, that absolutely was a hoax. I just find it hard to believe that there's a lot of people out there who don't know that, but yet the media continues to push that false narrative. It also is kind of weird to me that there are people who are undecided at this point. I know that there is a chunk of Americans that are undecided, but it feels like we're so polarized as a country that how could people not know? I feel like you either love Trump or you hate him. And how could you like not know which of the two candidates you would support? I guess it kind of is what it is. But for most people, I feel like if they were just watching the clips, if they didn't tune into the debate, maybe they had to work or something else, maybe they just tune in and see, you know, the clips on the news, they would think that President Trump was unhinged and that he just wouldn't disavow white supremacists. And so the media has so much control to manipulate the minds of those that are apolitical, people that just don't keep up with what's going on.
It's also so dependent on where you're getting your media from, what sources you're using. I clicked between, I think it was ABC and Fox, and I'm pretty sure it was ABC that was interviewing Don Jr. immediately after, just grilling him, asking these questions about why did your father say this? Well, it's physically impossible for him to know why he said that because he hasn't even spoken to him yet. Like, let's be honest. And then it went to Fox, who went straight into Katie Pavlich, who talked about the Charlottesville thing and exactly how that was some of the worst journalism that Chris Wallace or Biden could have even possibly claimed that President Trump said, because it is just a flat out lie. So big reality check on why independent news networks like this need to exist, where you don't get those chopped up pieces, you get everything.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I want to give a shout out to everybody that tuned in last night. I know that some people left comments. They were upset that we only had one camera angle. Well, it took a lot for us to even be able to cover the debates.
To get that
one camera angle. And it's one of those things where if you're going to take a stand against the mainstream media and you want to support independent media, you have to roll with the punches. Like, there's going to be ups and downs, and we're improving with your support, of course. And that's why it's so important to really stick with us through these times, because we were able to bring you the debate to where the ratings from the mainstream networks were down. There's a video that's in my queue. There's a YouTuber by the name of Tim Pool. He covers a lot of what's going on with the media and stuff. And apparently the ratings are down. I'll have to look into the story to see like what the ratings were for the debate last night. But I'm willing to bet that some of those ratings came over to RSBN. So you as you guys know, we're almost 100% viewer supported. So it's your donations, your contributions that allow us to cover the president fairly, update our equipment. It costs like $5,000 to $7,000 to even send us to one of these rallies. I mean, I think it's a pretty big deal to be at his first campaign stop post-debate. And so, you know, just to circle back to the debate last night, we were very fortunate to be able to get the debate and broadcast it through another outlet, albeit, but we were able to bring that to you because we thought that was important. There's so many of you that support us and say, I will only watch Right Side Broadcasting. I won't even watch Fox News anymore. I won't watch these other conservative outlets because they're not truly conservative. I mean, Chris Wallace is a Fox News host.
Hello, Patriots. Father Frank Pavone here, National Director of Priests for Life. Where can you go for yourself and for others to find information on where the candidates stand on the issues? Votinginfo.org is a website I've set up that leads you to voter guides, voting records, where candidates stand on issues, whom they've endorsed, who endorsed them, and much more. Go to votinginfo.org today and remember to support Right Side Broadcasting.
Hey y'all, we're Diamond and Silk. Listen, our book dropped already, and we want you to get a copy of it.
That's right.
Uprising, who the hell said you can't ditch and switch? The Awakening of Diamond and Silk.
That's right.
Now you can get the book at diamondandsilkbook.com or anywhere that books are sold. And I want you to continue to support RSBN.
That's right.
Why?
Why?
Because they've been here since the beginning. And they will be here to the very end.
That's right.
And guess what, y'all?
What?
We gonna win.
That's right.
You all get out and vote. Vote red, R-E-D, remove every Democrat. And make sure you vote for Donald J. Trump. We love y'all.
Bye-bye. Thank you guys for hanging in there with us as we had to restart some servers, get some technical stuff out of the way. Appreciate your patience and apologies for that. We are going to be going back to Mike and Liz live here in Duluth. The president about 2 hours or so away from speaking. So appreciate y'all again and your patience. We got a busy week, and so we've been upgrading things around here. We've been buying additional cameras, buying additional live view units. So it is absolutely crazy around here. And so thank you again for hanging in there with us. We are back now at full strength. And I want to say again to everybody out there watching to share the stream with everybody. And make sure, let's get those view counts back up. And don't forget to join us again on Friday in Orlando, actually Sanford, Florida, Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. President Trump will hold another Make America Great Again event. And then Saturday, we're headed back up to the Midwest. 2 events, 2 rallies in Wisconsin on Saturday, and La Crosse and Green Bay. And we have a special guest host going to be at one of those, and you don't want to miss it. And Father Frank Pavone, you guys loved him last time he was on. He is going to be back in Orlando, Florida on Friday. So don't forget that. I want to send out real quick. We have some new music that we're playing here on RSP in addition to ours. We're not going to stop playing ours. But a good friend of ours, Will Watkins, and his band, Will Watkins and the Shotgunners, have given me some tracks to play. I wish you'd check them out. Will Watkins, that's Wadkins, and the Shotgunners on YouTube. And you can also buy them at Will Watkins and the Shotgunners at .bandcamp.com. So check it out. Appreciate y'all.
A storm like you've never seen. School's letting out soon, early on a Friday afternoon. 4:30, I'll head back to my car. But driving home from work's never seemed quite so far. Before I put my key in the door, singing "Let It Rain," I don't even give a damn no more. My head in my hand, I'll be on the board, watching it fall. 'Cause I remember it all. Let it rain, I don't care if it floods all week. Turns my yard into Cedar Creek. For all I care, see, I made plans to stay right here and watch it rain. Except for me, I just sit around and think about you, trying to forget. It just ain't happened yet. As the water level rises and the nightfall comes, cheering on the clouds at the top of my lungs again. Again, singing let it rain. I don't even give a damn no more. My head in my hands, I'll be on the floor, watching it fall. 'Cause I remember it all. Let it rain. I don't care if it floods all week, turns my yard into Cedar Creek for all I care. See, I made plans to stay right here, watch it rain, yeah. So let it rain, yeah. So let it rain. I don't give a damn no more. My head in my hands, I'll be on the porch, watching it fall. 'Cause I remember it all. Let it rain. I don't care if it floods all week, turn my yard into Cedar Creek for all I care. See, I made plans to stay right here, watch it rain, yeah. So let it rain, yeah, yeah. Let it rain, let it rain, yeah, yeah. She used to say that she loved me before she hung up the phone. She don't do that anymore. She used to kiss me goodbye before I walked out the door. She don't do that anymore. All the things I took for granted, all the things I miss the most. She don't do that anymore. She don't do that anymore. So, hey baby, how's your day? I got supper waiting.
Middle of talking right when YouTube, I guess, we had some glitches, and I just think it was probably YouTube. That's my speculation anyway, but most likely. But we want to thank you for tuning in today for Right Side Broadcasting, covering the event. President Trump is going to be speaking to a crowd of his supporters in Duluth, Minnesota. He's been talking about. Before we go any further, though, I just want to give you guys some shout outs here. I know we've had some super chats come in while we were waiting to reboot the stream. I want to thank everybody that has donated. Thank everybody that's watching. I want to make sure that we like the stream, please. We'd like to shatter our record of, I think we had 118,000 people watching the last rally. We'd like to shatter that record tonight. I'm personally excited to hear what President Trump has to say and hear some of his thoughts after the debate last night. I mean, that was a fiery event, to say the least. Liz, what do you think?
It was a fiery event, but I'm assuming he's excited. I've read some excerpts from their press school and what they've sent out today. Those have been able to be around President Trump today, and he seems excited. He said, great numbers last night, great ratings from the debate. Glad you guys could come and watch it. He said he felt great. He felt strong the entire time. He felt prepared. So I'm expecting a lot more of that same energy. He's actually already in the great state of Minnesota today. He has a fundraiser, and this fundraiser is in Shorewood, Minnesota, I believe. Not many details being released right now as far as the host and attendees of this fundraiser, but it's expected that Trump victory can bring in about $7 million from today's fundraiser alone. So pretty insane numbers, great ratings, and if you look at the crowd behind us, a great turnout in his state for President Trump here for his first rally, like you said, since his first presidential debate against former Vice President Joe Biden. Back to you, Mike.
Yeah, I want to touch a little bit more on the debate last night because, I mean, why wouldn't I touch on that? There's so much to cover. I do feel like there were some opportunities there that could have really driven it home. I think the president did an amazing job given the circumstances, given everything that he's been through in the last 4 years. He was pretty calm. He was actually pretty calm, probably even by his standards, pretty calm. But I just feel like with the way that the media has crafted these false narratives, the president really had an opportunity to really just slam dunk on Joe Biden with the whole reason Joe Biden said that he joined the race is because of the Charlottesville hoax and the whole white supremacy thing. But one of the things is Richard Spencer, a known white supremacist that was at Charlottesville, endorsed Joe Biden. And not only that, he's been platformed on CNN more than once, and they don't want to talk about that. They want the president to disavow white supremacy and white nationalism and the Proud Boys. And they don't even want that. I think they want to bring attention to it and cause this divide to get deeper and deeper. I think if you have listened to a single thing President Trump has said one time, he does not stand for that. And in fact, he has condemned Antifa and the Ku Klux Klan as labeling them as terrorist organizations. I mean, how many times does he have to say that before it's just beating a dead horse? So I get it. He could have said more things, and he could have talked about the Charlottesville rally, but at the same time, he's feeding straight into their narrative, I feel like, in a sense. It's better to almost just ignore that. I guess there's many different strategies you could play there. Yeah, there's definitely different strategies to play there. Definitely, I think that was a distraction, having President Trump answer questions about white nationalism, because it deflects from Joe Biden, who has yet to even say anything about Antifa. He cannot say radical. Just like it reminds you of back in the day when Obama couldn't say radical Islam. It's just this is. And you can't touch on racial tensions in the United States in a 2-minute span. What the hell? You're racist to even think that someone could get that done in 2 minutes. That goes back so long, and we have so much work to do moving forward. I mean, I think it was a tweet earlier. It was like, white people be like, what's your stance on racial tension in the United States for black people? You have 2 minutes, go. 2 minutes? Yeah, it's pretty disingenuous. You're setting yourself up for failure with that question. They were setting them up for failure with that question. Yeah, nonetheless, as you can see from the crowd here as they're filing in and filling in the seats here, President Trump has not lost any support. If anything, his support has grown. His support has grown since he was elected 4 years ago. They want to continue to gaslight and make it appear as though he's losing support, when in reality, he has gained support. I'm one of the newer supporters. I did not vote for President Trump in 2016, but that was because I was more not really into politics. So how many of me are out there right now? I tell you, there's plenty. They want to make you think that the Democrats are on the right side of history and people are actually joining their side. They're going to vote for Joe Biden. In reality, there's this group, this event, this campaign. It's called #WalkAway. Matter of fact, there's an Unsilent Majority event that's going to be held this weekend in Washington, D.C. There's the Blexit movement that's Candace Owens is running. There are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people that may not agree with President Trump, may not agree with conservatives, but they love the United States of America. They want to be free. They don't agree with the Democrat narrative, the Democrat agenda, which is to take away everybody's freedom. President Trump, whether you love him or hate him, is standing for this country. He is literally the only person in Washington, D.C., minus maybe a few politicians, a few conservatives. You know, there's a few patriots in there. I like Rand Paul. But he's the only one that's actually fighting for this country, like actually fighting for this country. He could have stayed in his private life and just been a billionaire. But instead, he chose to take the worst job on planet Earth, in my opinion. That's be the president of the United States, because you get raked over the coals. You get nailed to the cross. He has just been lambasted for 4 years. Looks like we got a speaker coming.
Representative Ann New.
Holy cow, that's a long walk. Ladies and gentlemen, let's pray. Our Father in heaven, we are grateful to be here this day. We are grateful for this nation founded upon freedom and liberty. How grateful we are to have a constitution that guarantees that freedom and our religious freedom. How grateful we are for President Trump and his willingness to sacrifice and serve our great nation. And we ask that thou would lift him up. Give him the strength and wisdom he needs to persevere through this campaign and through the next 4 years of his presidency. We ask a special blessing upon his family, that they too may be lifted up and ready to deal with what comes at them. Heavenly Father, we ask for thy Spirit to be with us this evening. Help us to feel the joy of good representation and a trusted president. And we say these things in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, offering the Pledge of Allegiance.
Hello, Duluth. How you doing? Bonjour, Anishinaabe Doug. I'm Donna Bergstrom, State Senate candidate for District 7. And I'm a retired Marine. Do I have any Marines out there? Woo! All right, it is my privilege and honor to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you would please stand, remove your headgear, and join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Have a good event. And I get the pleasure of introducing a fine young singer, Sydney Hansen, who will lead us in the National Anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the lands of the free and the home of the brave.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mike Lindell.
Well, hello, Duluth. You know, I spent a lot of time up here going through Miller Hill Mall selling my pillows for years. And my daughter went to school up here at UMD, but who would think the American dream where an ex-crack addict can end up sitting up here with the president talking to y'all? That's America. Yeah. And wrote a little speech, but I think I'm going to go off, do a little both like the president does in case I ever run for governor. I'm going to give you a little background on my story. When I grew up in Minnesota all my life, and but I was. And I quit all my addictions, and I was an addict for decades, but I quit all my addictions in 2009. And when I came out of addiction, I looked around me and I go, what did I miss? Everything had started to change. We had, my friends were unemployed. You had a president giving money to evil empires. You had people losing their houses. They had marriage where marriages weren't even a man and a woman anymore. They were killing babies and then trying to kill killing the unborn, and then even trying to kill them when they were born. And I kind of noticed this when it started in the 90s. All of a sudden, I'm at one of my kids' softball game or baseball games, and halfway through the tournament, they give a trophy for first place. And I said, why is everybody getting first place trophies? They said, well, little Johnny cried last year because he didn't win. And I said, well, little Johnny's not good at softball. It's not, why are we giving first place? So, but it was, I didn't realize where we had came as a country, because I had never voted. I wasn't into politics. And then I started realizing how politics played a role in all of that, all of this change that had come upon us. And things started happening for me in 2015 when the president came down the escalator. I actually had a dream that I would meet him someday in a room. And in 2016, it was in July of 2016, I get a call from, or I get an email. Actually, I was on a flight to California, and I'm sitting in the bulkhead, and they go, and I finally, I was like, I go, God, did I see this in a dream? As I said, I had a Trump magazine I had opened up, and it was telling all about him. And I said, I said a little prayer. I said, I need to know right now what I had to do with this, because I kept getting dreams that I'd have something to do with this election back then. And at that moment in time, I said that prayer, and all of a sudden my phone dinged, and I had an email said, Mike, this is Donald Trump. Will you meet me in Trump Tower in New York City? I'm going, God? I'm sitting there, the flight attendant goes, are you okay? I go, yes, I'm okay. It's a miracle. I mean, my prayer got answered at that moment. Well, I get out, that meeting came to existence, and it came to fruition. They said, no, Mike, you're not going to be with them alone, and whatever you do, don't tell them you were an ex-crack addict. And that meeting was alone, and I walked in that room at Trump Tower on August 15, 2016. And I walked in there, and it was just him and I, and he said, Mike, you always wear your cross on TV? And I go, are you a Christian? I said, yes, Mr. Trump, and this is a divine appointment. And we started talking about all these things he was going to do. He goes, Mike, you make all your products here. I'm going to bring the jobs back. And I told him straight up, I said, I used to be a crack addict, and I'm going to have this platform to help addicts someday. He goes, and I'm going to wipe out the drugs. We're going to stop them pouring in. But all these things we talked about in that meeting, it was about 40 minutes. And I walked out of there, and I go, he's going to be the best president in history. Well, I didn't stop there. I talked to his employees, and every one of his employees said, I said, did I just see what I just seen? He had no agenda other than to help each and every one of us. And all of his employees said what a great boss he was, what a great leader, and he had done something for them personally. Well, I got back to Minnesota, okay, and I couldn't wait to tell everybody back here, especially the press. And I went to them, and my board warned me against doing it. Mike, if you go all in for the president, you're going to lose half our business. And I go, you know what? I don't care. I mean, my CMO actually came out of the room. She goes, I got mad and left the boardroom. She goes, we didn't get all this way by you not listening to God. And I went back to them. We didn't get all this way by me not listening to God. Well, I went ahead and did that press release. I felt God led me to do it. And I said, I met Donald Trump in a meeting in New York City. I didn't even tell him what it was for. Now, normally the press would come out and say, hey, Mike, what's going on? And all this. I was completely ignored, but I was called a racist. I was called everything you could imagine. The Better Business Bureau lowered my rating from an A+ to an F, if you all remember. But I was completely attacked. Well, anything I believe in 100%, I go all in, and I went 100% all in for Donald Trump. We all went in on faith. In 2016, we all went in on faith. Well, now 4 years later, he's kept every promise that he talked to me and every promise he made to all of us. And I've been blessed to have become friends with him. And the other night he called me. He called me up. This is about 4 nights ago. And we talked about Minnesota. And he said, you know what, Mike? If we win Minnesota, it's over. And I said, and you guys, I did some math, and he's right. He could lose Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania and still win the election if we win Minnesota. And by the way, I promised everyone we are going to get him Minnesota. And now here's how you can all help. You need to talk to everyone you know, and even if it's by email, there's a website called promiseskept.com. And you go there and you're going to see a list. It'll take you 2 days to read it of all the things he's done that y'all don't even know about, that's helped us, each and every one of us, in our daily lives. And you got to convince. Another thing you do, you got to convince your Trump, the Republicans and the Trump supporters that this is not just your simple election of everybody get out and vote. it has to be read all the way down the ticket. You got to vote convince them to go red, because it's no longer, the Democratic Party is not here anymore. That ship sailed. That's gone. It's a radical, crazy nut job party now, and even the Democrats know that. If you vote, we did a commercial the other day, and for the president, we had Democrats in Minneapolis, we had filmed it in Minneapolis, and I had these Democrats in a room, and we questioned them all and said, how come you're flipping? And the answers that came out of them was just amazing. But a lot of them were, that ship sailed, but a lot of them were their Christian values that had moved. They moved over here where, when you talk about abortion and you talk about all these things and for family values they used to have. This one guy said, I voted Democrat all my life, and he said everything I voted for, it would change right after the election, and nothing would get done. And I look over here, and Donald Trump's done it. And he kept his promise, each and every one of them. And we have, when I talk about the radical, crazy leadership, we all have Democrat friends. It's not them I'm talking about. I'm talking about the leadership, and we probably have the best example ever of some of the worst decisions ever made in history by a governor and a mayor of Minneapolis. And look what those terrible decisions manifested into riots all across the USA, actually across the world. And if our president hadn't helped with bringing in the National Guard, Minneapolis, St. Paul would still be rioting like Portland. I firmly believe that. My friends, where I used to walk them streets, I went down there just the other day, and building after building. These are friends I had 15, 20 years ago. Their businesses are gone. There's over 1,000, I think, ruined. It's terrible. But if he wouldn't have came in and put the National Guard, that would be Minneapolis be gone. And and there's something going on right now that they might not be rioting, because right now they're busy rigging the election. If you all seen in Omar's district, me a week ago and showed me this ballot harvesting going on in Minneapolis, it's horrible. Hopefully they get stopped, that they caught it soon enough and everybody knows about it, but it's terrible. And I just did and the president, one of the things he's got a gift of is problem solution. If you met him, he'll see a problem like a businessman, and here's the solution. But his God-given gift is he knows what it's going to manifest to. He knows how it's going to help us all. His decisions aren't made for politics. I've met so many people now in Washington, and so many of them make decisions based on their own agenda or based on politics. It's sickening. A president doesn't care. He makes what's right for each and every one of you. That's what he does. And he goes, one of the things up here, here's an example. There's problems of inner city jobs and stuff. You have opportunity zones, they're called, and you have them in Duluth and 2 harbors up here. And that's going to bring jobs back into the inner city. And he does that. He doesn't just do that, this county, for example. It's all over the country, but he doesn't leave anybody out. He includes everyone. And we have, now with this election, we have proof of concept that our president built the best economy in history, and we need, in history. And we need to all do our part and talk to everyone we know, like I said, including our Democrat friends, to vote red all the way down this ticket if we want to save Minnesota. The president saved the Iron Range. We need to save Minnesota. Someone once said, the opportunity of a lifetime must be seized during the lifetime of the opportunity. Well, we have that opportunity now to turn Minnesota red and keep America free. Amen. And I promise you, if we completely burn Minnesota red, I will run for governor. And God bless y'all. Thank you. I'm going to introduce you now to Michelle Fischbach. She's going to be the best congressman you ever wanted, and you all got to get her voted in. Let's give her a big hand.
I am so excited to be here to welcome President Trump to Minnesota again. And it is so exciting to be here with so many wonderful, great patriots who love America. And I'm really excited to be in the 8th District because I know you guys have a great congressman, Congressman Pete Stauber. And I'm running for Congress in the 7th District. And the 7th District in 2016 delivered 30 points plus for President Trump, and we are going to do it again this year. But the bad news about the 7th District is they have a good friend of Nancy Pelosi's that they have elected to Congress. And that's why I'm running to replace Colin Peterson and fire Nancy Pelosi. You know, Colin Peterson's first vote when he got to Washington, D.C. was to make Nancy Pelosi Speaker. He votes with her 80% of the time. He voted no on tax cuts for great Americans, and he votes yes on money for illegal immigrants. He also brags that he has been on the Biden bandwagon for 33 years. And he is such a great friend to Nancy Pelosi that she dropped $3 million in attack ads on me. She wants him back really bad. But you know what? They call me, they say things like, I'm not Minnesota nice and I'm nasty. But if it is nasty to tell the truth about their record and about their agenda, then I must be nasty. That's right. But I want to go to Washington, D.C., and I want to be a strong conservative voice for the people of Western Minnesota. And I want to work with Congressman Pete Stauber and President Trump and make sure that we make America great. I want to go and work to preserve our country, our rights, and our freedoms, our Second Amendment rights, and our right to life. I will fight alongside President Trump, and I will make sure that he has a functional Congress that will work with him. And by being here today, all of you are showing your support to re-elect President Trump, because you know that the Democrats are taking our country in a direction that we don't want to go. And the grassroots are rising up. And that's all about you and all about your neighbors, but the grassroots are rising up to make sure that the socialist radical agenda that the Democrats are pushing is going to end. And we are all going to work for the next 35 days to make sure that we do turn Minnesota red from top to bottom. We need to re-elect President Trump, elect Jason Lewis, and make sure that we retire Colin Peterson and fire Nancy Pelosi. Thank you all for all of the work that you're going to do for the next 35 days to make sure that all of your good conservative friends get out and vote and work so hard to make sure that we move this country in the right direction. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. God bless America, and let's turn Minnesota red.
everyone, and welcome back to Right Side Broadcasting Network. I'm one of your hosts for this evening. My name is Liz Willis, and we just heard from a number of people, but one of our favorites at Right Side Broadcasting, Mike Lindell, who concluded his rally speech by saying, "I promise if we flip Minnesota red, I will run for governor." The crowd was excited about that, and as you saw, they gave him a standing ovation. Lots of energy here tonight for the Republican Party in Minnesota, despite it being very cold. But thank you to everyone for tuning in to Right Side Broadcasting Network. We actually haven't even touched on this one yet, so thank you to everyone who's been donating. We're going to get to those in just a minute and give as many shout-outs as we can possibly dig back and find. But keep in mind, Right Side Broadcasting Network is almost entirely viewer-funded, meaning we rely solely on your donations to keep us in business and to go from rally to rally all across the United States. It takes on average between $5 to $10 grand to get to each of these rallies, and last week alone we had about, I think, 5 rallies. This week is smaller. We have today, and then we have Orlando on the 2nd, and there will be 2 in Wisconsin on the 3rd. So we have 4 rallies this week. You can do the math there. It's going to be very expensive. Please make sure you can donate and help us get to these rallies. Our goal, our mission as a network, I think you can see my breath. It's cold here, you guys. But our goal as a network is to live stream all of these rallies and to show you the president's speech, but also the pre-speakers. I mean, moments like that, when someone promises to run for governor in a state that went blue in 2016, especially a well-known, prominent businessman in the state. I mean, these are huge things that mainstream media is not going to cover. So make sure you're tuning in, make sure you're supporting us, and we would love to continue showing you these rallies from start to finish, all things President Trump, his entire message. And there's a number of ways you can donate. The first one is the Super Chat. It's very easy. Mike actually has that up on his screen, so we'll be giving those shout outs in just a minute. He'll be reading those to you. But if you're in the live chat, you can click that $sign in the bottom right-hand corner of the YouTube and donate absolutely any amount. Every single penny counts, you guys. I'm telling you, we are so different than mainstream media. We don't have large investors, anything like that. We work our butts off. We send a team of 3 to do what a team of 30 should be doing. We have one man producing, and that's our CEO. He's doing the travel booking, coordinating, hiring new talent, getting the equipment, producing this entire thing. So each of us wear many hats, and we are so proud to do so. But we are just making sure that your donations go as far as possible. So click that $sign in the bottom right-hand corner of the YouTube Super Chat. The second way you can donate, it's really easy. I'll be reading those shout-outs in just a minute as well. So you can send a donation via our website by going to www.rsbnetwork.com/donate. Again, that's www.rsbnetwork.com/donate. Check out the rest of our website while you're there. Lots of good information. Joe does a wonderful job of monitoring that. The third way, and this is a non-electronic form of donation, is by sending a check. So you can send a check to 1550 Opelika Road, Suite 6, Box 344, Auburn, Alabama 36830. Just to reiterate, the 3 main ways you can donate to us are by the YouTube Super Chat, donating via our website, and sending a check. Don't forget, we know times are tough. This China virus has been very difficult on everyone. If money's not a way you can support us right now, we completely get that. We're just really grateful that you're watching with us and getting all your facts, becoming an independent, educated voter, and hopefully getting out and voting. That is so important to do. Don't forget, you guys, we have some of the greatest liberties on this planet here in the United States, so let's make sure that we don't abuse that privilege by not using it. Get out and vote. Obviously, I want you to vote for someone. You can figure that one out yourself, but I don't even care who you vote for. Just freaking vote. That is kind of how you get started in politics, using that right. Now, to go on from that, we are going to start saying thank you to some of our people who have donated. Looks like we have a couple in the Super Chat and 52,000 people watching. That is awesome, you guys. That brought me back to my point. If you can't donate financially, you can support us by sharing our broadcast. So it's free. Just copy and paste the link via YouTube onto your Facebook channel. You can also share us on Twitter. We're always tweeting. You can retweet us throughout the broadcast. Our CEO will randomly get on Twitter. So if you want a chance at getting retweeted by our account at RSB Network, then tweet the link to our stream. And make sure you tag us at RSBN for a chance to get retweeted, and then you'll be seen by hundreds of thousands of our followers, and hopefully some patriots will follow you and you can grow your following base. Speaking of Patriots following Patriots, if you'd like to follow me, I am on Instagram and Twitter. I love both of them. I'm constantly on them. It's actually a sickness, but feel free to follow me on Instagram at Liz Willis, LIZWILLIS, and on Twitter at Liz Willis with an underscore at the end. I am going to hand the microphone over to Mike. He's going to be taking care of our YouTube Super Chat. When he concludes that, I will be reading the website donations. So there is an opportunity for you to click that you would like yours read out loud, even if you donate on our website. So we get those messages as well via email. So it's not too late. Go ahead and get your email donation, your website donations in if you'd like me to give you a shout out. Mike, over to you.
You know, I will know that I've made it at RSBN when I can memorize the P.O. Box address the way Liz does. It's so great.
Oh, I think I hear it in my sleep.
I got to get it at some point, Joe. I'll get there. But
That's what I'm here for.
Right.
I have to make myself useful. That is my redeeming quality.
I'm learning from the best. That's all you guys need to know.
I can't teach you then, because then I won't be needed.
Right. I got to memorize it. Got to teach me to fish.
Right.
Well, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. We're just a little over an hour away from President Trump addressing the crowd here in Duluth, Minnesota. The crowd is funneling in here, and we're just excited for you to join us tonight. There's something going on, as you guys know earlier, if you tuned in earlier. Our stream basically went offline for X amount of minutes, and for whatever reason, I'm not able to see all the chats. Normally the super chats roll across the top of the screen and they're highlighted, and I can just swipe left to right to read them, but they're in the actual chat themselves, and for whatever reason the chat's not even moving right now. YouTube is messing with our stream. As you guys know, YouTube does not promote Right Side Broadcasting, even though we cover every single one of President Trump's events. We don't get promoted on their homepage. They don't boost us up in the algorithms, and I'm willing to bet that they have something to do with the stream being taken offline today, and now the chat's not working. It could be my phone, but YouTube has a history of doing this to conservatives. But enough of that little rant. Let me read the 3 super chats that I did see come in. I think it was maybe 2 or 3 that came in. Dirk G said, "You are amazing. I appreciate you." Also, Tim Melander, "God is on Trump's side. Keep America great again." And then Lady Nola is a new Lincoln Club member. Thank you for becoming a new member. Yeah, I know that there's got to be more chats coming in as we have 52,000 people watching. So I'm going to refresh my phone here while I'm just talking to you guys, but I do want to say thanks to everybody that's watching. If you're new to the channel, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to RSB and hit the bell notification so you'll get notified every time we go live to stream one of President Trump's events, whether that be a press conference or a rally. It's very important. It's very critical. Also, I'm on social media as well. If you want to...
Is your chat working?
It's not. Is yours broken too? Yeah.
China.
There's something going on. For sure there's something going on because the chat's not working. Maybe your chat's working. I have no idea, but normally we're able to read your chats. But I want you guys to know that you guys help this channel grow. So if you're new, again, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow RSB Network on Twitter. If you want to follow me, I have a YouTube channel where I give lots of commentary, lots of spicy opinions, colorful opinions, whatever. Just type in Mike Nificent on YouTube. I should pop right up. You can also find me on Twitter at MikeNificent813. And you just find me, if pretty much you go to any of my videos and click the links in the description, you'll find all my other social media accounts. I'm on Parler, BitChute, everything. Just search Mike Nificent813. It should pop right up. Unfortunately, these chats are not working. But I do want to make sure that we get the likes up. Since we have about 52,000 people watching, I need everybody to like the stream, like this stream. Share it, get it on social media accounts, share it to your friends, family, text it to people. You know, it was about 2 weeks ago when President Trump held a rally in, I forget the name of the town, but it was in Ohio. Our cameraman actually panned around to show the crowd that was standing behind the risers. And we tweeted that video clip to President Trump as he was calling out the media for not showing the crowd size. And he actually retweeted that and gave us a shout out. Our goal would be for him to give us a shout out at his actual rally, which is one of the many reasons that I wear this MAGA hat on stage. This MAGA hat, as you know, Make America Great Again, has been politicized to mean a bunch of things that it doesn't mean. It's as simple as Make America Great Again. And if you live in America and you're a resident of the United States of America, you should want the country to be great. So part of the reason I wear that is to just symbolize that, but then also as the crowd turns around, they know that the media is not up here to cover them unfairly. At least one of the media outlets isn't. And then we're not here to cover the crowd or this event unfairly. We're showing you the unscripted, just totally raw event, start to finish, Pledge of Allegiance, everything else. I'm getting all these vibrations on my phone, so maybe that means that the chat is rolling. The chat is not rolling. This is really unfortunate. One of my favorite things to do at these events is read the chats and interact with you guys, and for whatever reason, they're not working tonight. So I just want to, I guess we'll just look around and see what's going on out here. You see the crowd is filling in. I would say there's probably at least 5,000 people here, and they're still funneling in, despite the fact that it's pretty cold here. It's pretty cold, at least by Southerner standards. As you know, President Trump does need to win the state of Minnesota. It's critical. I think he can, as he won other blue wall states in 2016 that were not even really supposed to be in play: Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. Minnesota, just a few interesting facts about it, is a Democrat stronghold, and it has been since 1972. The last president that Minnesota voted for in the Republican Party was Richard Nixon, 1972. The state has 10 electoral votes up for grabs. And as Mike Lindell noted earlier in his speech, President Trump could lose Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, but if he wins Minnesota, he wins the election. Well, I hope that he wins all those states. And personally, being a former resident of the state of Minnesota, it would mean a lot to me to see this state turn around and go red. I lived in Minneapolis for 5 years, and I got to tell you, I was there less than 2 weeks ago, and what I saw, it just was unbelievable. It's not even recognizable anymore. The morale is so low, it's dangerous, it's not safe. Buildings have been destroyed. They built a brand new Planned Parenthood though, but that's another story. And just the overall atmosphere there is negative and low energy. Is very sad for a city that I used to call home. It used to be one of the safest, cleanest, most prosperous cities in the Midwest, and now it's on par with Detroit. It's on its way to becoming the next Detroit if you look around. And another thing that President Trump really brings to the table, one of the most powerful aspects of his message is law and order, something that Joe Biden can't even say. Joe Biden can't even utter the words law and order. He can't say which police departments and sheriff's departments in the country have endorsed him, because they haven't. They haven't, because he supports the radical left, which wants to abolish the police, defund the police. They want to abolish ICE. They do not like law enforcement. They do not like law and order. They like criminals. President Trump wants to bring law and order. With law and order comes safety. It's not to say that we don't need police reform. Sure we do. Minneapolis definitely needs police reform. But the answer cannot be defund the police. That's music to the ears of a criminal. And you see it with the criminal activity on the rise in Minneapolis. They've doubled their homicides this year. And so I say all that to say, Minneapolis and St. Paul, the Twin Cities metro, could very well determine the outcome of this state. It's a little discouraging to see how many like Black Lives Matter flags were there and just Biden signs. But I know that there is a silent majority in those cities, because I, for one, know some of those people. When I became a Trump supporter, I had a lot of friends reaching out to me. Hang on one second, guys. I'm reading a note from the boss here. Give me a second. Wow. He's just chiming in on the YouTubes. Go to our website to donate, guys. I know I was saying super chats, but if you go to our website at rsbnetwork.com/donate, you can make your donations there, because it's official that there's something going on with the chat, which is just awful. But the best way to donate right now is to go to rsbnetwork.com/donate. It's actually better that way, because YouTube doesn't get 30% of it. They certainly don't deserve 30% of it, even though they're hosting our content on their platform. We're not able to access all of the features, which includes getting the super chats and being able to interact with the live chat. So if you go to rsbnetwork.com, you can donate there and cut YouTube out of the equation. So there you go, guys. But back to what's going on in Minnesota. You know, this is a beautiful state. I love this state. It's a little too cold for me to live here anymore, which is why I moved to Florida. You just kind of deserve Florida after you live in the place where winter was created. I believe it was created up here. I really do. But this state is great. It's beautiful. There's a lot of very nice, kind people here, and many of them happen to support the president. And I can't even tell you how many of them reached out to me who live in the Twin Cities and said, Mike, I like what you have to say. I agree with you. You're a patriot, but I can't say what I think because I'll get fired. I won't be able to go out. People are concerned to show their support for the president, for the country, really. That's really what it's about, because of how crazy it's gone in these cities, Minneapolis being one of them. It looks like conquered territory for the radical left. There's something to be said when you drive through a city, you see a bunch of destroyed buildings, you see crime happening in the open air, drug deals just happening on street corners, and then you see BLM signs and Biden signs. That's what the United States of America would look like if Joe Biden were in power. Lawlessness, chaos, criminals running the streets, and no law enforcement there to counter it. It's sad, but hopefully we can make not only Minneapolis great again, but Minnesota great again, and ultimately America great again. That should not be a political statement. Doesn't matter what color you are, what gender you are, who you sleep with. None of that matters. We are in a unique global position. This is the best country in America, and you should not. I hate that I have to even say it. Like, make America great again is a way of life. It's basically, we're gonna save our country, right? Freedom is cool. I happen to like freedom a lot, and I would never support anybody that wants to take that freedom away. So that's essentially why I'm wearing this MAGA hat up here. Now I'm gonna try, while I got you guys here, I'm gonna try to reset my YouTube. I'm holding out hope that maybe, just maybe, if I just restart the app, relaunch it, maybe the super chats will work. If the super chats are working, I will give you guys some shout outs. But please be advised that the best way to donate in the interim would be to go to rspnetwork.com/donate. At the very least, I want the live chat to work, you know? And thanks to all of you that have already reached out saying that you subscribe to my channel. I appreciate you. You know, with YouTube, the only way that my channel grows is by word of mouth. I do not get promoted in the algorithms, despite the fact that I happen to think that I have some pretty good content. My channel doesn't grow organically. It did at first, but boy, did they put the throttle on there. I think it was after I released my walk away video, and I got like over 100,000 views on it. Then they were like, yeah, we got to slow this guy down. He's telling too much truth. Oh, for whatever reason, the chat is working now. Oh, this is great. Joe, I think we might have it working again. We definitely do have it working again. So now I see all the super chats up top. I knew that resetting my phone and saying a little prayer would do the trick. So let me read some of these super chats. John W. I can't pronounce the last name, so I'm just going to say W. Thank you for your super chat, John. Jay Sherm, thank you for your super chat. We've got Luke Hazley, thank you for moderating this pre-rally event, Trump 2020. God bless you. We've got several new members. We've got Cynthia. We've got Safe Movers of New England. We've got Denise Evans. And we've got JF Ridgely. I hope I pronounced that right. JF Ridgely. Thank you for your super chat. And we've got Mary Beth King says, thank you, Right Side Broadcasting. We love you. We love you too. Faye Frost Johnson, thank you. L. Todd says, Trump for America. Thank you for that super chat. HNN says, thanks for being you. God bless you. Thank you. Judy P., thank you for your super chat. Laura Kimberly says, we are here for you in Trump 2020. God bless you. Thank you for your super chat. Oh, there's so many. B. Hubbard, thank you for your super chat. R.W. Bob, thank you for your super chat. David Taylor, thank you very much. You guys are awesome. Michael Reese says, German in the U.S., just bought my first gun. Go RSB, go Trump. Zoe Inman says, much aloha to you, Right Side. We adore you and appreciate you. President Trumpy in full tilt boogie. Thank you for the super chat. Wow, they are rolling in. This is great. You guys are amazing. Again, these types of donations are what send us to these events. On Friday, we're going to be in Sanford, Florida. That's my neck of the woods. That's my backyard right there, Central Florida. And then Saturday, President Trump's going to be in La Crosse and Green Bay, Wisconsin. 2 events in Wisconsin one day. These events are not cheap. These events are about $10,000, give or take, to send some of us to. And that's on the conservative end, quite frankly, because as we move towards the holidays, travel becomes more expensive. People are moving around, doing more. It just becomes more, it's more expensive. So your donations go a long way sending us to these events. We want to thank you for that. Sunny Baines from California with a super chat. Thank you very much. Crane Life, thank you very much. You guys are amazing. And thanks to everybody that subscribe to my channel. And again, if you want to subscribe to my channel, just go to youtube.com/Mike-nificent, just like the word magnificent, Mike-nificent. Also find me on Twitter, Mike-nificent813, or you can find me on BitChute or Parler or any of the other social medias out there. Just type in my name, Google it basically, and it'll come right up. So, I really hope that when President Trump arrives tonight, I almost want him to look forward as opposed to looking backward, right? What's done is done. The debate's over. I'm sure he has a lot to say about the debate last night and the way he was treated by Chris Wallace. But I would like him to move forward and hopefully talk about what's really going on in the state of Minnesota. I don't know how many of you heard about the open air voter fraud that's going on in Ilhan Omar's district down in Minneapolis. Some call it Little Mogadishu. It is literally an enclave of corruption at this point. There's people buying ballots from the residents, from the Somali residents in Minneapolis, and I'm very familiar with that area. I've seen that part of town. Oh, I'm gonna take 5, guys.
Joe needs to apologize to everyone, I guess. Like the server issues. I know that was a smart thing. He said, tell Mike to take 5, then you go back and join him. I need to apologize to the people.
All right. Looks like we had some issues earlier with YouTube, and I want to say we apologize for that, but let's get those viewers up. Looks like things may be getting back to normal, and so thank you all for hanging in there with us. The president will arrive shortly. He's scheduled to speak at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. We're going to be busy. In case you didn't know, we are headed to Florida on Friday, and we'll be in Orlando. I'll have a full crew down there. Grace Saldana, and we have a special guest host, Father Frank Pavone will be joining us again in Orlando. I guess he's our Florida correspondent now. We appreciate Father Frank. He's a good friend, and also, so we will also have Mike-nificent. So we'll be in Florida on Friday. Then we're headed to Wisconsin for a doubleheader on Saturday. So keep the college football on and RSBN in the picture-in-picture, or vice versa, because we're going to be busy on Saturday. It's going to be like this all throughout the campaign season up till November 3rd. So we are going to be busy, and that's why we are asking for your help. We are viewer supported here at Right Side. The reason that we are is because we don't want people telling us what we can and cannot say on our own airwaves. We are viewer supported. We don't take on investors. We're going to stay that way. We've been that way since the beginning. So we rely on your help. It does get extremely expensive. We just purchased 3 new rigs. And rigs, what I mean by that is cameras, live views, tripods. The whole setup is about $12,000, I believe, and so it's very expensive for us. When we don't take on investors, advertisers, we don't have those kinds of things. So if you would like to help us get to these events, it really does make the difference in us getting to the next one or not. rsbnetwork.com/donate. Now, if it's down because our site was running a little slow earlier, please check back again. We really appreciate it. We are doing the best we can, and I don't anticipate any more issues the rest of the night. So thank you all for hanging in there. I'm going to play a couple songs right now from Will Watkins and the Shotgunners, who is Will's a friend of mine who is in Alabama, lives in Alabama, and he is just a really talented musician and a great guy and a patriotic guy at that. So check them out. If you like it, you can check them out at Will Watkins. That's WADKINS and the Shotgunners on Facebook, or you can find it at willwatkinsandtheshotgunners.bandcamp.com. Liz and Mike will be back soon.
Took my eyes off the path. The last 12 years of my life living in the past. So I turned to the bottle, but the bottle took me down to a place I thought I'd never see, that's lower than the ground. And I'm here to testify, it ain't easy walking blind. They say all wounds heal in time. I'm still waiting on mine. I'm still waiting on mine. I held on for as long as I could last. Thought I had forever, but then it up and passed. Now looking back, all I can say is that I see everything I wanted was right in front of me. And I'm here to testify, it ain't easy walking blind. They say all wounds heal in time. I'm still waiting on mine. I'm still waiting on mine. Day comes that you meet your end, pray that you never wish to turn back again. Life's short, we get just one time around, and I was lost for so long, but now that I'm found, hey, I'm here to testify, it ain't easy walking blind. They say all wounds heal in time. I'm still waiting on mine. I'm still waiting on mine. And I'm here to testify, it ain't easy walking blind. They say all wounds heal in time. I'm still waiting on mine. I'm still waiting on mine.
Hello, friends. friends, Father Frank Pavone here, National Director of Priests for Life. Together with voting, we have to pray for the right outcome in this election. I want to invite you to go to electionprayer.com. In English and in Spanish, you will find a beautiful interdenominational prayer there for the election, and you'll be able to order these beautiful prayer cards with that prayer on it for your churches and groups and families. Electionprayer.com. And remember to support Right Side Broadcasting.
Welcome back to the Right Side Broadcast Network. You heard from our CEO, Joe Seals. Thank you, Joe, for keeping it taken care of, keeping everything taken care of at headquarters. I forgot how to talk there for a second. To our website, I want to make sure we get those shouted out before President Trump takes the stage in just a few moments. Again, President Trump is scheduled to take stage at 8 p.m. This is Central Time here in Duluth, Minnesota. President Trump was at a fundraiser in Shorewood, Minnesota. He concluded that fundraiser at 6:35 p.m. Central. That is the time that the motorcade left the premises. So President Trump was en route at that time to the airport, where he will take off and then arrive behind me around 7:50 p.m. So you can expect that. As far as times go, let me know if you have any more questions, and of course I'm going to keep you updated on his whereabouts from the press pool. But we do have a lot of donations, and I want to read as many of them as I can. So we have Denny Elkins, who said, "Can you wish my brother, who just celebrated his 59th birthday? We both were at the Fayetteville, North Carolina rally on the 19th, and you're the only channel we're going to watch from here on out. I've shared your info with all my friends. You're great. The birthday boy's name is..." It doesn't say. This is happy 59th birthday, Bill Prentice of North Carolina. So without further ado, happy 59th birthday to Bill Prentice of North Carolina. We're so thankful to have you watching RSBN, and we hope that today is extra special and that you enjoy President Trump's message live from Duluth, Minnesota. We have Dean Quinta, who said Trump 2020. Armando Feliz said Joe Biden will be beholden to China and the UN. Please support Trump and Right Side Broadcasting. Object of Hate said, "Thank you so much, Liz and Mike, for being at all these rallies and giving us the real deal, including the pre-show ceremony and speeches. No one else comes close to you guys, in fairness. The rest of the team does a great job too. I try to watch every time from Switzerland." This is so cool. Thank you, guys. We love hearing. We should start a RSBN country map where we mark off all the countries that people watch from, because we have heard from so many. It's absolutely incredible the support that President Trump has, not just within the United States, but globally, and that gets less media attention than anything else I could possibly think of. Juanita Humphreys said, "Jesus, I trust in you." Brad Voller said, "Keep fighting the good fight, Trump 2020. Snook Duke said, "Enjoy the RSBN coverage of Trump rallies." John Bushek said, "Mike, you rock. Keep up the good work. President Trump is the real and only president for America." Fisher said, "Trump can tweet answers to debate questions and can share that different organizations are not supremacist." San Nejetian said, "Stop Bolshevik media before they take over our country completely." Jim Parrish said, "Trump landslide 2020. Wallace and Lola Henry said Trump 2020. Kathy said, "Vote red and in person. RSBN is the best. Trump 2020. Where we go one, we go all." Jeff and Tammy said, "Lifelong Minnesotans for Trump." So Minnesota has not gone red. Let me double check this. I think since 1974. I believe that is the last time. Wow, my phone is freaking out because of this cold weather. Let me double check. I don't want to be fake news over here, so fact checking myself really quick. 1972 was the last time that Minnesota was won by a Republican. I'm Really hoping we see a difference this year. But jumping back in, we have Mary Jo McVeigh, who said, thanks, Mike and Liz, for standing in the cold for us. You're so welcome. I've been there, done that, lived in Michigan and moved to Florida years ago. No more cold or snow for me. Love you guys. Thank you so much, Mary. Yeah, it was so beautiful yesterday. I was so excited about today and taking photos of all the fall foliage up and down the hillsides here in Minnesota. And then today it just rained all night and brought in a cold front, and it was freezing. But of course, this is what we're here for. You know, it's not all pretty days and sunshine. In the life of a reporter or journalist, it's not nearly as glamorous as it looks from the camera. But thank you for your support and your thankfulness. We really do appreciate it. Danny Elkins said, I'm not sure what happened, but last donation was $1. I just redid to $25 a month. I would like someone to call me to see about providing additional corporate support for you guys. Okay, I screenshotted that. I don't want to read your personal information with your phone number out loud online, so I'll send that to our boss later. But thank you, Danny, for your support. Paul Hinkle said, winning, winning, winning. Today, DeGit said, go Trump. Elizabeth said, love Jesus. Jackie Baby said, thank you guys for doing a great job. I love watching. And it looks like we have some more. Danny Elkins. Oh, we already got that one. All right, let's see. 7:15. We're going to refresh. Glenn Coker said, RSPN does a great job. Keep up the good work. Cheryl Grant said, thank you for giving us the truth. We're going to let those website donations reload. In the meantime, I'm going to hop into the YouTube Super Chat and just make sure we're not missing any information. In the meantime, actually, before we get to that, I want to talk to you guys a little more specifically about Minnesota and why you should vote President Trump, how hard he's been working. We're going to continue to pan these crowds so you guys can see the crowd filling in behind me. There's actually some overflow that is really starting to gather. Also, we want to say welcome to our new cameraman. We actually have someone back here training, so bear with us while we train. But also, all these technical difficulties, they're not him. It's most likely YOUTUBE. I'm not even going to say the word because it'll go in their algorithm and then they'll just black screen us all. But you can see right now, people are still steadily filing in all the way. You're looking at stage left and then over to stage right. There is a massive overflow area. We'll get some photos of that when we are able to. Right now, we're not able to really see it. We're going to put the camera in that direction in just a moment. But if you'd like to see those photos later on, make sure you're following us on YouTube, Twitter and Instagram at RSB Network. Like I was saying earlier, President Trump is fighting for Minnesota workers and families. He's truly making this economy great again. As President Trump peacefully protests with supporters in Duluth tonight, the evidence shows his whole of government response to the coronavirus helped Minnesota families and workers. President Trump fought to give the people of Minnesota the resources and help they need to combat the coronavirus. President Trump's Paycheck Protection Program protected over 1 million Minnesota jobs by providing over $11.2 billion worth of loans to more than 102,000 Minnesota businesses. More than 2.7 million Minnesotans received economic impact payments totaling over $4.7 billion in relief. The CARES Act is providing up to $2.1 billion worth of aid to the state of Minnesota and more than $472 million to 3,758 healthcare providers in the state. Minnesota businesses are poised for a historic comeback thanks to President Trump's economic leadership. President Trump's pro-growth policies, tax cuts, and deregulation built a stronger economy for Minnesota workers and businesses. In the last 4 months, Minnesota added 176,000 jobs back following the economy's artificial interruption by the China virus. Minnesota added more than 50,800 new jobs in the first 3 years of the Trump administration, including 5,300 manufacturing jobs. In March, Minnesota's unemployment rate fell to just 2.9%. Prior to the Trump administration, 2000 was the last time Minnesota's unemployment rate was that low. President Trump's historic Tax Cuts and Jobs Act is projected to add over 24,100 new Minnesota jobs over the next decade. The law also designated 128 Minnesota communities as opportunity zones, which will drive new private investment into distressed and predominantly minority communities. President Trump kept his promise to negotiate America First trade deals, providing a massive boost to Minnesota's economy. The President's United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, also known as USMCA trade deal, will boost Minnesota's economy and create new jobs in the state, which exports $7.2 billion annually in goods to Canada and Mexico. Trade with Canada and Mexico support 233,800 jobs in Minnesota. The USMCA will open up Canada's market for dairy exports, allowing Minnesota's dairy producers to sell more milk and cheese. Minnesota is the nation's 8th largest milk producer, with the milk industry contributing $25.7 billion to the state's economy annually. President Trump is defending Minnesota farmers and agriculture producers from China by providing $1 billion in direct USDA payments to Minnesota farmers. But Joe Biden's radical far-left agenda will decimate Minnesota workers and families. The terrible trade deals that Biden supported during his 44 years as a career politician in Washington killed Minnesota jobs. Minnesota lost 13,700 jobs due to higher trade deficits with Mexico under NAFTA, which Biden supported. Not surprising. Minnesota lost 38,100 manufacturing jobs between when NAFTA took effect in 1994 and when President Trump was elected. Biden voted to normalize trade relations with China, which killed 88,300 Minnesota jobs due to higher trade deficits. Biden's radical energy policies and promise to, quote, end fossil fuel would devastate Minnesota workers and businesses. The oil, gas, and coal industries support more than 118,000 jobs in Minnesota and contribute more than $14 billion to the state's economy annually. More than 77% of Minnesota's homes are heated by natural gas, fuel, or propane, fuels that Biden wants to eliminate. More than 1/3 of Minnesota's electricity grid is generated by coal. Biden's plan endangers the private health insurance that 3.5 million Minnesotans rely on. Biden's government-run public option plan would ultimately kill private health insurance plans. Under Biden's government-run public option plan, 49 of Minnesota's rural hospitals would be at high risk of closing, limiting patients' access to health care. That's nearly 80% of Minnesota's rural hospitals. And finally, Biden pledged that charter schools will be gone if he's elected president. More than 56,000 students are enrolled in over 220 charter schools across Minnesota. But let's face it here, we already know Biden doesn't care much about having American students in school. That's become pretty clear when it comes to him refusing to open up our economy, open up schools, allow children to learn. Absolutely ridiculous. Looks like we have some more donations via our website. We want to make sure we get all of those shouted out properly. We are so thankful for everyone who's donated. Keep in mind, we're asking for donations because we're almost entirely viewer funded, meaning we don't have large investors or ownership, anything like that. We are almost entirely viewer supported. It's your donations that allow us to get to the next location. In this case, the next location will be President Trump's Keep America Great Rally live from Orlando, Florida. We will have special guest Father Frank Pavone there, as well as Mike Nificent and Grace Saldana. It will be a wonderful team in the Sunshine State, so it should be very warm, and hopefully everyone will be excited for that. Following Orlando, on the 2nd, we're going to have 2 Wisconsin rallies back to back. President Trump is fighting hard for Wisconsin as well. Those 2 rallies are going to be at 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. No, probably not. I'm going to have to check that. You guys don't quote me on that one. 2 Wisconsin rallies back to back, though, on the 3rd. So note that, and RSBN will be there. We'll be covering those live. We're excited to do it. Again, we are live here in Duluth, Minnesota, a state that President Trump lost by 1.5 percentage points to Hillary Clinton in 2016. Very slim margins considering this state has not voted red since 1972. However, President Trump really is looking at that as more of a challenge and has promised to come and campaign hard. He wants the support of the people of Minnesota. He has fought hard for Minnesota. He has talked about it countless times, and he has campaigned here a lot. We were here just about a week ago. I feel like I've been in Minnesota and Pennsylvania and Wisconsin more than any other state over the past year, roughly, campaigning. But it just shows that he is not ready to just sit back, accept defeat, or even accept a decent win. He wants to win this election by a landslide. And watching the way this man is campaigning and watching his energy and his demeanor, the way he fights for the American people, he's fighting for your support. And I cannot wait to sit back on election night. I know everyone's going to be so tense. I'm going to be so relaxed. I cannot wait to see these seats flip red. If you're curious about how you can donate to us, there's a number of ways. The first way is by clicking that $sign in the bottom right-hand corner of the YouTube Super Chat. Again, the YouTube Super Chat is an easy way to donate. We were having a lot of issues with YouTube earlier. Shocker, a conservative news media outlet needs help, and we can't rely on them. So if you see a glitch with that, just kind of ignore it. I'm sorry, it's not our fault. Something that we're just like bullied by big tech at this point. So shadow banning, censorization, black screens, we're used to it. When you can watch us there, most of the time it's fine. If there's an issue in the chat room and you can't donate, go to our website. It's a great way. It's super safe. We actually get to monitor that. We are in control of it there. So you can go to www.rsbnetwork.com/donate. And those website donations still give you the opportunity to type a message and you'll be able to give a shout out on air. So I'm going to read those in just a second. Before I do that, please note the third way you can donate, and this is a non-electronic form, so a lot of people love it. We've gotten so many checks and letters in the mail, and there was one last week. I've got it on my phone. I'm actually writing a personal thank you card back to this man because he sent, I think it was a man, I actually need to check the name again, but I just know it was an envelope of puppies, like the card, and lots of different puppies on it, and it was like, I know Liz loves dogs, so she might like this. Here's my donation. So we read these things, you guys, and even if I'm not there, my boss actually read that, my CEO, and he sent me a photo of it so I could read the letter and look at the pictures of the dogs, and I absolutely love it. So you are getting a handwritten thank you note from me as soon as I get back home and get to my stationery, so thank you so much. To read some more of those website donations that have come through, we have Danny Elkins. Oh, we already read that one, but hope you're having a great 59th birthday. Bill Prentice. Let's get to the newer ones, if it will let me. Again, we are totally unscripted. We don't have a teleprompter. We are running this production via our cell phones. No earpieces, none of that Biden stuff. So this is as real and as raw as it gets. Thank you for bearing with us. We have Melanie and Victor Jaden, who said, we are from California and are happy to see young patriots, you flatter me, thank you, supporting the best president in American history. Of merit-based voting, who said merit-based voting. And we have Golden Colburn, who said, I know the amount I donated this time of $1.77 is an odd amount, but it was what I had remaining on a gift card and figured why not give it to RSB, and thank you for the rallies. Thank you, Golden. That is so sweet, honestly. I do really appreciate that. And like I said, every single penny counts here, so thank you for your donation. Very thoughtful. I think I am caught up to date on all of the website donations. So if you want to get some of those in, I'm happy to read those out. In the meantime, I'm going to jump back into the YouTube Super Chat. Let's see if we've got anything going on there. Nothing new from the press pool regarding President Trump's travel, so it's quite possible the next time we see him, he'll be landing right behind me. I'm going to hand the microphone back over to Mike-nificent for a little bit to give you an update on what's going on here at the rally, the overflow, and to shout out some of the YouTube donations. So over to you, Mike.
All right. We are just about 30 minutes away from President Trump's arrival in Duluth, Minnesota. The people are still coming in. It's a full house tonight, despite the weather being chilly. You know, this is probably not much to Minnesotans. True Minnesotans, especially this far north, they are not too concerned about this weather. But it's a packed house tonight. People are still coming in. They're excited to hear the president's message, as we are too. I'm very curious at what he has to say regarding last night's debate, as well as his plans for the state of Minnesota. Before I get to some of his plans for Minnesota, I want to read a message straight from the campaign. But I want to give some super chats because I have been paying attention to that as Liz was talking. I'm going to give the shout outs there. So we've got Tubinator 2014. Thank you for your super chat. We've also got Country PN said, thank you, RSBN. We appreciate all you do to bring us Trump events. Because of you, I have not missed one yet. Hello to all our people watching from Patriot News Channel Live. God bless you. Thank you so much for that super chat. We also got Cindy MC7. Thank you. We've got Norway, or NOK. This God bless America. America bless God. Wait, America bless God. Yeah, vote Trump 2020. Thank you. We've got a new member, Todd C. I'll just say Todd C. DLB says vote Trump. Okay, I think I gave these shout outs before. Crane Life said, thank you, RSBN. Make news great again. That's what we're doing. We're doing our best to make news great again. While Liz was talking earlier, we had some fans in the crowd. As the crowd funnels in, they like to wave at us. They like to shout us out, or they want us to shout them out. So if any point in time they're waving at us, we want to zoom in on them. I don't see anybody yet, but I did a few minutes ago. We have support far and wide, and I love when they turn around and look up here, they see me with this Make America Great Again hat on. They love to see it. They love to see it. They love to see that the press, not everyone in the press is biased and here to spin this story of what's happening in our country, that it's just a bunch of whole white supremacists, because we know that's not true. We know that's not true. If there really is white supremacists there in the Democrat Party, but that's a whole nother story. Topher Bowen said, Joe Biden makes love to, oh gosh. Because of the kind of network we are, I cannot read that, but thank you for the super chat. I cannot read that, but I appreciate the super chat. And I'm just happy in general that the chat is rolling. You know, President Trump has to win Minnesota, and I really think that he will. I want to read some notes directly from the campaign. Okay, President Trump peacefully protests with supporters in Duluth tonight, the evidence shows his whole of government response to the coronavirus helped Minnesota families and workers. President Trump fought to give the people of Minnesota the resources and help they need to combat the coronavirus. President Trump's Paycheck Protection Program protected over 1 million Minnesota jobs by providing over $11.2 billion worth of loans to more than 102,000 Minnesota businesses. More than 2.7 million Minnesotans received economic impact payments, totaling over $4.7 billion in relief. The CARES Act is providing up to $2.1 billion worth of aid to the state of Minnesota and more than $472 million to 3,758 healthcare providers in the state. Minnesota businesses are poised for a historic comeback thanks to President Trump's economic leadership. President Trump's pro-growth policies, tax cuts, deregulation built a stronger economy for Minnesota workers and businesses. In the last 4 months, Minnesota added back 176,000 jobs following the economy's artificial interruption from the China virus. Minnesota added more than 50,800 new jobs in the first 3 years of the Trump administration, including 5,300 new manufacturing jobs. In March, Minnesota's unemployment rate fell to just 2.9%. Prior to the Trump administration, the year 2000 was the last time Minnesota's unemployment rate was that low. President Trump's historic tax cuts and Jobs Act is projected to add over 24,000 jobs to Minnesota over the next decade. Also, President Trump's United States-Mexico Agreement, USMCA, trade deal will boost Minnesota's economy and create jobs in the state, which exports $7.2 billion annually in goods to Canada and Mexico. That's crazy. That's a crazy amount. Trade with Canada and Mexico supports 233,800 jobs in Minnesota. So just the list could just go on and on with how this president has done amazing things for the state of Minnesota and what he's doing for the country. So it only makes sense that we'd stay the course and flip this state red. Actually, it's not really staying the course, it's changing the status quo, but stay the course as a country and continue on this path of preserving freedom and economic prosperity. You know, freedom, economic prosperity, success brings us together. It unifies us. Looks like we might be having a speaker here momentarily, maybe, I don't know. Looking up at the stage here, it looks like there's people walking. We are close to President Trump's arrival. We're under 30 minutes away from his arrival. He's already in the state of Minnesota. He finished up a fundraising event in Shorewood, and so he'll be up here shortly. It's a pretty short trip from the Twin Cities up here, as we made the drive just yesterday. Flights to Duluth were not very cheap, so we had to fly to Minneapolis and just drive on up. Beautiful countryside. But this state is up for grabs. The Democrats took advantage of this. They took this state for granted, just like they did Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and it's coming back to haunt them. And it's too little too late. I think Minnesota will flip red for the first time since 1972. That's a long time ago to be towing the line and just be on the status quo as far as the economy is concerned in this state, as far as the political leadership in this state. So I really hope President Trump speaks and acknowledges the corruption in Minneapolis. Can you believe it, guys? The ballot harvesting, Ilhan Omar. That's on top of her campaign finance violation, her illegal immigration, like all the things. Just it's crazy. The leadership is bad there. The leadership is very bad there. Between Ilhan Omar, Governor Tim Walz, Jacob Fry, Amy Klobuchar, and Keith Ellison, this state needs to make some changes. Now I'm going to take about 5-minute break, and I'm going to throw it back to the studio for Joe. Joe's going to give a message to you guys. So, Joe, back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Mike. You and Liz doing a great job there in Duluth, Minnesota. We have some work to do. We are going to be headed to Orlando next. We'll be there on Friday with a special guest host, Father Frank Pavone. You guys were wanting to get him back after last time. It was a huge success. So I guess Father Frank is our Florida correspondent now. And then we're headed to Wisconsin for a doubleheader on Saturday. If you're going to watch college football, that's okay. Just make sure you keep your laptop nearby or your phone nearby, and don't forget us here at Right Side Broadcasting as well. I'll probably be watching the Auburn-Georgia game here in the studio as we rally all day in Wisconsin. Thank you all so much for tuning in. It will only be about, I guess 20 more minutes or so before the president speaks. Special announcement right now. We'll be in La Crosse, Wisconsin, yes, on Saturday, for an early rally, and then the primetime event on Saturday in Green Bay. We'll have a special guest host with us. You guys know him as Brick Suits, the Brick Suit guy that's always at the Trump rallies. He's going to be guest hosting in Green Bay with us. So we are thrilled to be able to have him, and we've got some more special guests on the way. We're trying to do everything we can for you guys out here. It's tough on the road. These guys might not be home for a while. We're expecting to be extremely busy next week. So stay tuned for an updated schedule, and please continue to support us, because that's the only way we can get to these events. It's very expensive, and hopefully you can tell our production quality has improved significantly from where it was in 2016. That's all thanks to you. You put us there, and look at that crowd there in Duluth. It goes way back, and I'm going to see if I can try to get them to capture some of that for you so we can put it up on Twitter. And we appreciate y'all again. We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to play some music by Will Watkins and the Shotgunners. Will Watkins is a friend of mine from North Alabama, and he is a huge patriot and a good guy. Check him out, Will Watkins and the Shotgunners. By the way, those of you asking why we don't play the music at YouTube on that's actually happening right now at the rally, because if we did, then it'd be about 5 minutes and this stream would be taken down. So copyright violations on YouTube is a very serious thing. So we have to be careful. That's why we have to play our own music when we're not talking. So we only choose the best. We have our own Jacob Seals, as you know, and now Will Watkins and the Shotgunners. Check them out at on Facebook at Will Watkins and the Shotgunners, or you can buy their music at willwatkinsandtheshotgunners.bandcamp.com. We'll send you back to Duluth in a second. Until then, enjoy the sights and the sound.
Got the desert weather on channel 19. It's gonna be a storm like you've never seen. Schools are letting out soon, early on a Friday afternoon. Come 4:30, I'll head back to my car. But driving home from work's never seemed quite so far. Before I put my key in the door, singing "Let It Rain," I don't even give a damn no more. My head in my hand, I'll be on the board, watching it fall. 'Cause I remember it all. Let it rain, I don't care if it floods all week. Turns my yard into Cedar Creek for all I care. See, I made plans to stay right here and watch it rain. So let it rain. Everybody's got something to do, except for me. I just sit around and think about you, trying to forget. It just ain't happened yet. As the water level rises and the nightfall comes, cheering on the clouds at the top of my lungs again. Again, singing "Let It Rain." I don't even give a damn no more. My head in my hands, I'll be on the floor.
Hey y'all, we're Diamond and Silk. Listen, our book dropped already.
Yes.
And we want you to get a copy of it.
That's right.
Uprising, who the hell said you can't ditch and switch? The Awakening of Diamond and Silk.
That's right.
Now you can get the book at diamondandsilkbook.com or anywhere that books are sold. And I want you to continue to support RSBN.
That's right.
Why?
Why?
Because they've been here since the beginning. And they will be here to the very end.
That's right.
And guess what, y'all?
What?
We gonna win.
That's right.
You all get out and vote. Vote red, RED, remove every Democrat. And make sure you vote for Donald J. Trump. We love y'all.
Bye-bye.
Took my eyes off the path. Last 12 years of my life living in the past. So I turned to the bottle, but the bottle took me down to a place I thought I'd never see, that's lower than the ground. And I'm here to testify, it ain't easy walking blind. They say all wounds heal in time. I'm still waiting on mine. I'm still waiting on mine. I held on for as long as I could last. Thought I had forever, but then it up and passed. Now looking back, all I can say is that I see everything I wanted was right in front of me. And I'm here to testify, it ain't easy walking blind. They say all wounds heal in time. I'm still waiting on mine. I'm still waiting on mine. day comes that you meet your end, pray that you never wish to turn back again. Life's short, we get just one time around. And I was lost for so long, but now that I'm found, hey, I'm here to testify. It ain't easy walking blind. They say all wounds heal in time. I'm still waiting on mine. I'm still waiting on mine. And I'm here to testify. It ain't easy walking blind. They say all wounds heal in time. I'm still waiting on mine. Yeah, I'm still waiting on mine.
Check, check, check. Check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Check, check. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
from President Trump's arrival on Air Force One. President Trump is scheduled to begin his remarks at 8 p.m. on the stage that's set up right behind me. Again, 8 p.m. This is Central Time. We are live from Duluth, Minnesota. My name is Liz Willis. I'm here with a Magnificent. We've been here for a few hours. It is a chilly night. It's been a chilly day. Lots of rain came overnight, bringing a cold front to Duluth. However, that hasn't stopped people. It is a constant stream of people entering this venue here at Duluth International Airport. We're under a hangar here, and you can see it's hard to describe when all of the images I'm getting right now are reversed. So that direction is the overflow for President Trump's remarks here today. I'm going to step aside so y'all can see that a little better. Again, thousands of people in the overflow. Freezing cold, 46 degrees. I sound like such a southerner when I say that. It is freezing. There's a wind chill. It's technically 46 degrees. You can tell by the way everyone's bundled up. But again, standing room only. Every single seat was actually taken hours ago. I mean, within moments of doors opening. Beautiful venue. Well done here today. We have the logging trucks. Some nice poles cut. And then it says, make logging great again, flags hanging from each of these trucks. Really something unique and different. President Trump did talk a lot about forest management, USMCA deals, and how important that is to our nation. As a fifth generation pine tree farmer myself, something I'm very proud of. It is great to see. It's great to have a president really take action on this, make deals on this, and put it as a priority. Farming is so important. It's really one of the main backbones of the United States, and our forest industry and forest management is something that clearly people don't know enough about. California, clean those leaves off the ground. Oregon. So do your thing. Fortunately, all of my property's in Georgia, so knock on wood, but we do our own controlled burns all the time. Something some other states could possibly take notes on. Once again, make sure you get all that dead stuff out of there to prevent larger forest fires from happening. We'll probably hear President Trump talk some more about that, given the fact that there are some massive logging trucks right behind me with, again, flags that say make logging great again. But I'm here to see it. I'm excited to see it tonight, and we have a lot of things going on. Of course, this is President Trump's first technical campaign stop that is public. He had a fundraiser earlier today in Shorewood, Minnesota, that was private, invite only, which was expected to raise around $7 million for Trump victory. A lot of money, but that's completely necessary. The Dems are throwing money left and right ever since RBG's passing. They will stop at nothing to get their former Vice President Joe Biden, whatever you want to call him, into the White House. And it looks like at this point all they really have is money. They're just throwing it. So President Trump is out here fighting. Again, he had that campaign fundraiser earlier today. He will be flying directly here on Air Force One. He'll take the stage at 8 p.m. This will be the first official public campaign stop since last night's first presidential debate against, of course, President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden. Very interesting night, to say the least. I'm sure many of you watched it. We were actually able to cover that live from Right Side Broadcasting Network, so hopefully you enjoyed it there as well. Great job to Joe Steele and to First News for helping us get that coverage. Keep in mind, we're almost entirely viewer funded, so we do rely on your donations to go from rally to rally, place to place, and to cover all of President Trump's rallies and to bring you the best team in the business, absolutely the best. These people are wearing 10 different hats at one time. We're currently training a new cameraman as we speak, so we're really excited about that. We really do want to guarantee that we have enough teams to cover as many rallies as President Trump wants to have in one single day. And if it's anything like the 2016 election, he was doing around 5 a day towards the end. Absolutely insane. Our promise to you is that we will go to as many as we physically can, as many as is physically possible. Looks like I need to check my phone really quick, so bear with me on that. And if you will stand by, I'm actually going to hand the microphone back over to my lovely co-host, Magnificent, who's going to talk to you a little bit more about how you can donate and how you can get a shout out. Thank you.
All right, guys, we are just a few minutes away from President Trump's arrival here in Duluth, Minnesota. One of the things I want to do is let you all know that we are almost entirely viewer funded. It is your donations, your support that sends us to President Trump's rallies and events. And not even just that, his news conferences. We bring all that. We have to get new equipment. There's a lot of upkeep and maintenance that goes into bringing you quality content. We've only been around since 2015, so we would like to supplant the mainstream media, hopefully, and it's your donations, your support that go a long way to helping us do just that. So one of the things you can do is go to rsbnetwork.com/donate, and you can send a check directly to RSB Network. If one of our moderators wouldn't mind helping me out, I don't have it memorized yet, but if one of our moderators wouldn't mind putting links or the address to where you can, our physical location where you can mail checks. You can also go to RSB Network, rsbnetwork.com/donate to give a contribution there. You can also click the little $sign in the bottom right of the chat on YouTube. And I want to read out the super chats because we got a ton of them to read before President Trump arrives here. So we've got Deborah Samsel. Thank you for the super chat. She says, you are amazing. We've got JP. Says, I live in Minnesota. Hopefully the traditional Democrat Iron Rangers finally figure out the Dems have done nothing for them. Go Trump. We've got Jinland1 says, 3 cheers for the moderators. The moderators do an amazing job picking up the slack for me as a new guy here. I don't have everything memorized yet. Rolling with Jaden TV says, way to go, Right Side Broadcasting. Keep it up. I'm your #1 supporter. I will never give up the fight. God bless you. Thank you so much. These donations will send us to these next rallies. We've got Sanford, Florida coming up on Friday. And then President Trump has 2 back-to-back events in Wisconsin on Saturday. And I need to take this time to let you know that our guest correspondent will be Brick Suit Man at the Green Bay event. Brick Suit Man will be our guest correspondent on Saturday, so be on the lookout for that. Should be a fun time. He travels to pretty much all the Trump rallies that I've been to. Pretty much every single one I've been to, I've seen him walking around in his brick suit. I believe President Trump knows who he is. I think he's been up on stage. He's been called out before. But he's going to be our guest correspondent, so it'll be cool. I won't be at that one. I believe Zoe will be our correspondent for that day. But make sure you tune in for that. And the super chats keep rolling in. I appreciate you. And I see we got 74,000 people watching right now. So what that means is we need 74,000 likes. So if you're watching right now, do me a favor. Do us a favor here at Right Side Broadcasting. We need your support. We need you to like this stream. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to Right Side Broadcasting. Hit the bell notification so you'll be notified every time we go live at one of President Trump's rallies, events. And they're going to be plentiful over the next 33 days. We've got 33 days and counting before we re-elect President Trump. 10 electoral votes up for grabs in the state of Minnesota, a state in which President Trump lost by the slimmest margin of all states in 2016. So this is by no means a slam dunk for Joe Biden. Joe Biden is not going to just win this state outright. I mean, if you see, the crowds are enormous no matter where he goes. I bet you he could draw a crowd this big in California, in Oregon, in New York. Joe Biden couldn't get that much. He can barely fill a Waffle House. That's what I would say. He couldn't fill a high school gymnasium. President Trump has tremendous amount of support. And if these patriots in this building have anything to say, he will be reelected on November 3rd. We're just moments away. Every time this song starts playing, which we can't let you hear it because of copyright reasons, but that means that the eagle is near. So President Trump is in the vicinity. He'll be making his final descent here into Duluth shortly. We'll bring it to you live. We will show you as he exits Air Force One. If we can get a good enough angle. We don't know where they're actually going to land, but usually it's within our line of sight. But it's a beautiful night out here, beautiful crisp night out here in Duluth. Luckily we're covered by the risers, so we're not really exposed to the breeze the way they are out there. But you see those beautiful American flags out there flapping in the wind. You got the Make Logging Great Again. I love how they tailor his events specific to the states that he's visiting. And there we go. Air Force One has arrived in Duluth.
Ladies and and gentlemen, Air Force One has landed a swift flight over from Minneapolis International Airport, where President Trump's motorcade took off from the private residence of a donor who hosted his campaign fundraiser tonight. The motorcade went from, of course, the private residence to Minneapolis International Airport, where President Trump got aboard Air Force One and came straight to Duluth, Minnesota International Airport. President Trump has just touched down in Air Force One. You saw it right behind us. It was a much quieter departure landing. I'm trying to think of the right aviation word. I know you guys are going to hound me on that one. Pretty quiet. We didn't see Air Force One till it was directly behind us. But again, ladies and gentlemen, Air Force One, 7:59 p.m. Central Time here in Duluth, Minnesota, where President Trump is scheduled to take the stage at 8 p.m. Cutting it close on time, but let's give the man a hand. It has been an insane 24 hours. From the first presidential debate against sleepy Joe Biden last night to waking up having a full schedule, including a double stop in the state of Minnesota today, first for a campaign fundraiser and second for a Keep America Great rally. This man never sleeps. This is evidence to that. I'm telling you guys, it is so difficult to keep up with him. I am constantly checking my phone, seeing what he's doing, trying to keep up with half of his life, and it's absolutely remarkable how hard he is working for the American people. Right Side Broadcasting Network is honored to be able to be a part of even just a minute of it and to bring you these rallies. We love to cover these rallies from start to finish, and we are excited to be here today to bring you another Keep America Great rally. So this is going to be his first official campaign rally since the presidential debate last night. We're really excited to see that energy, how it lights up the stage, and how it really continues to energize his base. The state of Minnesota has not voted for a Republican to take president to the White House office since 1972. Again, President Trump is fighting hard for the state of Minnesota, and that is clear in his approach to continue to keep rallying here in this great state. Unfortunately, he did lose Minnesota in 2016 to Hillary Clinton by 1.5 percentage points. So when it comes to Trump and the way he's willing to campaign, this is battleground territory. Forget everything you've heard. Forget the fact that this could technically be a blue state, considering it hasn't voted for a Republican since 72. When it comes to President Trump, every state is in play for this election. It's important to you to follow this energy, watch these rallies, see what the president has to say, and get out and vote. Again, it's so important. Make sure you vote. Don't vote by mail. You've seen it. There is crazy stuff happening. Ballot harvesting, people paying for ballots, paying for you to vote for them all over. U.S. Postal Service workers, like, coincidentally just dropping these bags of ballots in creeks. I, for one, will be happily walking in to my polling place and making sure that my vote is accounted for. It is too precious. It is too important not to. Especially as a woman, let's get out there, let's use our rights, and let's vote. Let's vote to save this country. This is truly one of the greatest countries in the world. I've been to so many, and including living in India and living in Brazil. I don't know why I choose to live in third world countries, but this one's definitely the best, and I can say that with a lot of experience. Again, we have a huge overflow, thousands of people in the overflow already today, here to see the president. It was 46 degrees last time I checked. That does not account for the wind chill here today. I suppose Minnesotans are a little more adept at handling it. I am not handling it well, but I'm excited to be here. People are getting on their feet for President Trump. They were sitting down earlier, I think really just trying to harness the energy they had to stay warm, but they know they are just moments away from seeing their president. And again, President Trump has come to Minnesota numerous times. I heard people talking earlier how important it is and how much it means to them that out of anywhere in the country the president could choose to go to, he chose to come to Minnesota today, the first day after the presidential debate with the former vice president. So it means a lot to the great state of Minnesota, and I'm hoping to watch that state go red on November 3rd. You can see Air Force One is slowly taxiing up on the tarmac, stage right. She is coming in with that bright light, and people are starting to see her too, getting excited. If you're enjoying this footage right now, thank you for watching. We're so glad to have you here. Right Side Broadcasting Network, we want you to know, is almost entirely viewer funded. No partners say nothing. We are solely relying on your donations to stay in business and to continue covering these rallies. Nobody else does it. The mainstream media, fake news could care less. They are here to get their soundbite, to get that clip, to get whatever President Trump can say that they can possibly spin out of context to run on the evening news and make a lot of money. We are here to show you his message, to show you the people, to show you their stories, why they're supporting the president, and what President Trump has done since taking office, the policies that he has put into place, the executive orders that he has signed. We want you to see the entire rally. If you enjoy that, sounds good to you, please consider donating. You can donate to RSB Network a number of ways. The first way is by clicking that $ in the bottom right-hand corner of the YouTube Super Chat. That he has put into place, the executive orders that he has signed. We want you to see the entire rally. If you enjoy that, sounds good to you, please consider donating. You can donate to RSB Network a number of ways. The first way is by clicking that $ in the bottom right-hand corner of the YouTube Super Chat. They're closing them now. They just shut off the little windows. But as Air Force One was pulling up and slowly cutting a hard right, I saw people's faces. I'm not sure who it was, but one of them definitely had a red MAGA hat on, and their eyes were peeled to the window, wanting to get a glimpse of this incredible cloud. Wasn't shortly after I started saying that on air that all of the windows immediately slammed shut, so we respect that privacy. But again, huge crowd tonight, lots of energy. President Trump, if you're watching, the crowd is ready to see you, Mr. President. We have been here all day. We know you've had a busy day, but great job last night, standing up and fighting once again for the American people. Right Side Broadcasting Network is here today, and we're going to continue panning these crowds and showing the world the types of crowds that you're able to draw, the patriotism and the love that these people have for their president. Many of these people would do short of anything to guarantee another 4 years from President Donald J. Trump. I'm going to start reading some shout outs, so make sure that you get your shout outs and your donations in right now. We will lead them up until President Trump's door opens up. It's hard to see. Actually, it's impossible to see from this angle. Of course, you'll still be able to see the staff that is disembarking Air Force One right now. I'm going to jump straight in first to the website donations and read those. And then I'll jump into the YouTube, so make sure you get your donations in right now. We have Stacy Weber who said, love your network. Lee and Liz donated and said, Trump 2020, Dan and Donna Athens. Michael G. Watson, June Thresher, Darren Wright, Stacy Weber, Jennifer McFadden said Minnesota is so excited to turn Minnesota red this year. Finally, a president that understands small businesses and Minnesota's logging industry. Go Trump. Audrey West, for Christ and Him alone for salvation. Dwayne Brownell, Robin Byer, Dan and Donna Beach, Virginia Beach, Virginia. David Harris said Trump 2024. We have Rick Bryce who said please give and support RSB Network, a wonderful and truthful conservative network. Karen Chapman, Augie Bell, for Christ alone. John McCarthy, Jean Kay. Michael Lagardier Sr., thank you so much. He said, go President Trump, you have our vote in Florida. Michelle Carroll said, love you, President Trump, looking forward to 4 more years. California is turning into Trump country. We have Kim Wynn who said, make America great again. Texans for Trump. Mr. Bob said he's been watching us since 2016. Trump 2020. Jay Anders. Marie Guzman said, so happy to found RSB. Big Texas howdy. And support for President Trump. 95,000 people watching. Let's shatter our current record of 115,000. While I've got your attention, make sure to head over to Twitter and follow us. I want to get to 150,000 Twitter followers via RSB Network. So follow us on Twitter at RSB Network. Follow us on Instagram as well for behind the scenes footage at RSB Network on Instagram as well. Feel free to give me a follow, Liz Willis. I appreciate it. I love monitoring all of these social accounts. Joe knows I I never get off all of them. I'm constantly working on the RSBN social media accounts as well, so you can reach out to me on any of them. My personals are at Liz Willis on Instagram. That's LIZWILLIS. And on Twitter, you can find me at Liz Willis with an underscore at the end. We are going to be fighting hard to cover all of President Trump's rallies. It is now more important than ever. We had over 300 million views for the 2016 election, and that was before anyone even knew who RSBN was. Yeah, we pan the crowds, but the amount of work that we have put in to this network since 2016 is astronomical. I'd say it's pretty comparable with the amount of work President Trump has put in for the American people. So thank you for your support over the years, and it is time to fight harder and stronger and better than ever before. So let's get those donations in. Let's share this stream. Ladies and gentlemen, the next thing that we're going to have here tonight is President Trump getting off Air Force One and walking amongst these people. He never actually even takes the beast. He doesn't even get into his motorcade because he wants to be amongst his people. We're starting to see the Air Force One pool get into their spots right now. Busy day for them as well, but that means we are seconds away from President Trump from getting off and walking amongst his people. No one else is going to be able to bring you coverage like this for the entirety of this event. So thank you so much for being here today. I'm going to jump right now into the YouTube Super Chat and start giving some shout-outs. So if you want your name read right before President Trump takes the stage here in Duluth, Minnesota, now is a great time to try and get your donation in. It's actually funny. I literally only use YouTube to watch RSBN videos, and every time I sign on, it doesn't recommend it. It'll recommend everyone else who is fake streaming this event by stealing a stream, but RSBN gets shadow banned, so I have to manually search it. So bear with me. 99,000 watching pre-POTUS, incredible numbers. I want you guys to know that you are not alone voting for this president. The silent majority is silent no more. This man has been an incredible president for years, fighting hard for the American people, and you have nothing to be ashamed of or embarrassed of or anything to hide. You do not have to be silent anymore. Maybe you thought it was a little risky voting for an outsider, not a trained politician in 2016, but this is the way to go. We have had a president fighting so hard for us the past 4 years, and I can almost guarantee I don't ever want to vote for a politician again. I think you can see just by the large amount of people that are tuning in to this Duluth, Minnesota rally that you're not alone. Hundreds of thousands of people joining us here tonight. We are beating Fox by almost 80,000 views. Not only is the silent majority not silent, they are here to support President Trump. They don't want to see fake news. They are over the mainstream media lying to them, feeding them sound bites and little clips to sway their opinion. They want to know what's going on. This is one of the smartest generations we've had, and that's because we have technology. We have the world at our fingertips. It would be a shame, a waste of technology, a waste of information to not be watching this right now. It is so easy. You have the President of the United States at the palm of your hands. You can almost watch him 24/7 essentially. There is almost always Right Side Broadcasting showing you what he has to say. If you want to know what's going on, it is there for you. The information is there for you. You just have to get out and find it for yourself, which many of you, in fact, over 100,000 of you are doing right now. Looks like we have 20 Canadian dollars from Cindy McSeven, who said Trump 2020, vote, vote, vote. $5 from Carolecca Summer, who said blacks for Trump, let's flip Minnesota. $5 from Deplorable MI77. Kayla said young people love Trump too, from a millennial. Heck yes, girl, love to see it. Father Christopher Vertebragen became a member, so thank you, Father. Amanda De La Cruz. Brian White said, we love you, Mr. President. $4.99 from Jerry and Anita Orr Ministries. Milo RC donated as well. Thank you to Ken Fo, who said, stay awesome. Kathy Paternity became a member, and so did Mara J55699. Ryan DeFever said, our scene is getting those views. We are getting those views, and that's because, like our president, we refused to sit down and became complicit. We are going to continue to fight. We're going to continue to work, and we're going to continue to get the truth out for the American people, because you like voting for President Trump. You have continued to watch and continue to support Right Side. You've made this possible. We're going to continue to fight for you guys and to show you these rallies. We have many more coming up. We have Orlando, Florida on the 2nd, and then we have 2 back-to-back rallies on the 3rd tonight, so stay tuned for that. Melissa Koenig donated $49.99. Great to see you in the chat room. Karen Saffron, $50, said thank you, RSVN, for all you do for us. We appreciate you. $25 from Patricia Lee, so thank you. Another $25 from Flor Riccio, who said, happy to see young people like this program who love and respect the country, unlike the liberal brainwashed sheep. Ladies and gentlemen, the
President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Hello, everybody. Hello, Duluth. Hello, Duluth. Thank you. 34 days from now, we're going to win Minnesota. We're going to go and win 4 more beautiful years in the White House and do more than anybody's ever done before from the White House. We're looking to set records. I really enjoyed last night's debate with Sleepy Joe. I brought those hats out here because Minnesota's a little on the windy side. And like a genius, I sent them all out, and I'm getting blown to pieces, and that's fine. That's okay. I love it. I love you to have whatever we have. We have it together, that I can tell you. The verdict is in, and they say that we, all of us, won big last night. And I don't know, did you hear about this? In the history of cable television, had the highest ratings of any show in the history of cable television. And it had the second highest rating. Does anybody know what was first? Like MASH or something, I guess? MASH? No, they had the final episode of MASH. And I don't know what was first. Does anybody know? But we were second in the history of all of television, but the biggest ratings in the history of cable television. It's an honor. Last night I did what the corrupt media has refused to do. I held Joe Biden accountable for his 47 years of lies, 47 years of betrayal.
and 47 years of failure. I held Joe accountable for shipping your jobs and dreams abroad and for bowing to the violent mob at home. Can you imagine these people, the way they take over these Democrat cities? I don't even believe it. The whole nation saw the truth. Did you see last night? Name one. I said, Sleepy Joe, name one law enforcement group that supports you. And then Chris Wallace says, don't do that. That's not. Can you believe this guy? I was debating two people last night. Joe Biden is too weak to lead this country. You know, Biden lost badly when his supporters are saying he should cancel the rest of the debates. Now I understand he's canceling the debates. Let's see what happens. I think that's not going to be a good move for him. I don't think that's going to be a good move. I don't think television with those ratings are never going to let him cancel. You don't know television like that. What are they going to do? You know, someday we're not going to be doing this anymore. What are they going to do without Trump? What are they going to do? Oh, those poor people. Look at all of them. Whoa. That's a lot of people. What are they going to do? What are they going to do when in 8, 12, maybe 16 years, I said, let's hang it up. Let's hang it up. 16 more years. But what he's doing is what you do when you lose. So let's see what he does. I don't think he's going to get out. And I've got news for Joe. If you ever became president, you have to deal with some of the toughest people in the world. And Chris Wallace is very, very easy by comparison, I will tell you. I know them all. I know them all. Liberal media is upset that I took the fight to Biden and exposed his very dangerous agenda. Oh, there's a beauty. Here we go. Here we go. There's another beauty out there. Go home to mom. Go home. Go home to mom. These are the same media outlets cheering violent demonstrations in the streets. CNN, the New York Times. They think rioting is just okay. Just do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to wear masks. You just riot. 25,000 people standing on each other's face. Do whatever you want. Can you go to church? No. Can you go to restaurants? No. Can you do anything? No. But you can riot. That's okay. Arson's okay, but challenging Sleepy Joe is totally off limits. So disappointed in Fox. I'm not just running against Joe Biden. I'm running against the corrupt far-left media socialists and communists in the Democrat Party and the special interests who've made a living bleeding our country dry. And that's what's happened for too long. We've turned it around. But don't forget, when they turned it around, I had to fight other things like a fake impeachment. I had to fight a lot of things that are not like, that wasn't in the agenda. Never forget, and we fought it very well. And frankly, we had great support from the Republican Party, except for one person, but that's all. We had great support. Never forget, they are coming after me because I am fighting for you, and that's true. And this is a choice election. Our opponents put America last. I put America first, and that's what I've been doing for 3.5 years. Our opponents want to erase borders. I will defend our borders. You see what's going on our southern border. And by the way, that wall, 350 miles already, going to be finished very soon. They don't talk about the wall anymore, fellas. What's going on? They don't talk about it. They used to talk about it every day. He's not going to get his financing. But when you're a real estate developer, you always get financing. This was like easy. He's not going to get his financing. Then we got our finance. They don't talk about it anymore. We're up to 300, almost 360 miles. We're doing about 10 miles a week. And yeah, Mexico is paying for it. You do know that, right? They keep saying there's going to be a border charge at the border for the trucks and cars, and it won't even have to be a lot. There's so many cars and trucks going through. But Mexico's paying for it. And they've been great. They have 27,000 soldiers right now on our border, and we appreciate it. We appreciate the president of Mexico. Our opponents will send your jobs to China. I will keep your jobs in America. Our opponents want to erase our nation's core values, and I want to defend, preserve our nation's historic values. Our opponents stand with rioters. I stand with the heroes of law enforcement. Did you see last night? I said, say the words law enforcement. Don't even say good or bad. Sleepy Joe, say law enforcement. He goes, no, I'd rather not. Say law enforcement, Sleepy Joe. Law enforcement with safety. No, just law enforcement. They tell me that all the time, too. Please, just say law enforcement with safety, sir. No, it's just law enforcement. It's very simple. It's a very simple term. Not with safety, unsafety. I mean, it's law enforcement. He wouldn't say it, right? Then I said, name one group in the entire nation. I've got Minnesota now. I've got everybody. Name one group in the entire nation from law enforcement that's supporting you. Well, then Chris Wallace. Okay, let's go to the next question. He's in trouble. He's in trouble. Let me protect him for Fox. Joe Biden says Antifa is just an idea. Well, ideas don't assault cops, and they don't burn down buildings. Antifa is a domestic terrorist organization. I proudly received the endorsement of the Fraternal Order of Police, the National Association of Police Organizations, the National Troopers Coalition, the International Union of Police Associations, and law enforcement organizations and departments in Florida, Ohio, North Carolina, Colorado, Arizona, Nevada, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Minnesota. Good. I was getting worried. Texas, New York's finest. They've never done it before. They came in New York's finest. These are great people. They could solve that problem in 2 minutes. All they want is their authority back. It's been taken away from them horribly. New York's finest. Never endorsed a candidate for president before, and they're great people. They can do it. New Jersey, Illinois, and many, many more. I won't bore you, but I could go on all night. I just a joke. Give me one, please. He was joking. I'll tell you, he got saved. Joe Biden is saying he owns the socialism and extremism in his party, that he owns it. It is, it's not his party. It's not Joe's party. That's not. You got crazy Bernie, you have AOC +3. You got all these crazy people, these maniacs. You have the Green New Deal. How about the Green New Deal? He disavowed it. Then he said, no, I agree with it. I said, Joe, it's $100 trillion. That's more money than this country can make in the next 100 years if everything's perfect. It's so crazy. He wants to rebuild every building in the building. Take it down and rebuild every building. Let's say, does that include the Empire State Building? Let's take it down and rebuild it. These people are crazy. No more cows, no more airplanes, no more nothing. Biden even vowed to eliminate our tax cuts. That means he'll take away your child tax credits, because I gave you child tax credits, $1,000 a child. He wants to take away what I gave you and revoke our historic tax relief. Right to the middle class it went. Joe Biden also refused to answer questions about packing the Supreme Court. Don't you love the Supreme Court? I mean, how good is Amy? How good is Amy? You know, her professor at Notre Dame, one of the most highly respected. Fill that seat. Fill that seat. You better believe it. How good is she? So her professor, one of her professors, one of the most highly respected legal scholars in the country, said, been teaching for a long time, said she is the finest singer. She was first in her class, graduated first in her class. He said she is the finest student he's ever had. Of all the students, thousands of students, she's the single best student that he's ever had. Now he's saying, she ought to run for president instead of Joe. He was like last in his class. She ought to, can you imagine? This is a big difference. I don't know. How do you like Amy for the Supreme Court, yes? If he gets elected, the hard left will appoint radical justices who will terminate the Second Amendment. No more guns. No more guns. As you all saw, Biden also refused to explain why his son Hunter was paid $3.5 billion, protected by Chris, by the wife of the former mayor of Moscow. And they talk about me with Russia. I have nothing to do with Russia. And took out $1.5 billion from China. He makes millions of dollars a year, right? Then he got the $183, right? $183,000 a month. Would anybody like that job? You don't have a job. You're not employed. You get thrown out of the military for unfortunate reasons. Your father becomes vice president, and you get hired for $183,000 a month with, I think, a $3 million upfront payment. I think they could have had him for less. Would anybody take that job? And he knows nothing about energy. What do you know about energy? Well, that's not my thing. Oh, that's okay. I mean, could you imagine if I did it? How about when Sleepy Joe said, you're not getting the $1 billion unless you get rid of the prosecutor. When you get rid of the prosecutor, we'll send you the money. They got rid of the prosecutor. He said, now the money comes. I mean, can you imagine if I said that? Unbelievable. And the press doesn't want to talk about it. And Chris Wallace said, well, we don't want to discuss that. Oh, really, Chris? It's so sad. I'll tell you, it's so hypocritical, so sad. This is a matter of national security and economic security. The Bidens got rich while American workers got robbed. How can you deal with China if you take out $3.5 billion and make all sorts of money? How can you do it? A critical issue in this election, you saw what I did with China. Billions and billions a year they pay us. I gave a lot of it to the farmers, $28 billion. A critical issue because they were targeted by China. A critical issue in this election is the future of the Minnesota Iron Range. You know that. That's why I'm here. This was just supposed to be a little get-together, and then they said, sir, we got thousands of people want to show up. I don't know how many are involved. This was supposed to be an Iron Range get-together, but it turns out big. You know, Biden has 20, 30 people. He's got those circles. Today he had a little bit more, like 30 or 40, but they were too close together. I sent him a note, dear Joe. They were too close, 34 people right next to each other. And yet he complained about our rally, right? Our rallies. Now it's an honor that so many people showed up, because this was going to be a little quickie just to say congratulations, because Obama closed the Iron Range and I opened it, and a man came up to me, a tough man, a worker, a construction worker, real worker, and he looked at me. This is 2 years ago. He said, sir, you've given us back our life. And he was crying. And I said, when was the last time you cried? He said, I can't remember. I said, you never cried when you were a little baby. You never cried. This is not a crier. This guy was tough as hell. He said, sir, he took our life away. And let me tell you about Joe. Joe will reinstitute that ban in 2 minutes if we lose. So you better vote for me, Minnesota. Really, I mean, honestly. He said, you gave our lives back, a lot of lives, thousands of jobs, and they closed it up as Vice President Joe Biden wiped out. He wiped out so much, and that includes what he wiped out in the great state of Minnesota, and we're not going to let it happen anymore. We're not going to let it happen anymore. Thousands and thousands of workers, we're not going to let it happen anymore. They were all laid off, and now they're all back. And by the way, they say, what the hell do I know about iron ore? But I've bought a lot of steel and a lot of iron over the years. But you know, they say it's the greatest iron ore anywhere in the world, and you should have it. After I put tariffs on foreign steel, the Iron Range came roaring back. But the biggest thing I did was knock out his executive order. I've knocked out so much of the things that he did. He can't like me too much. I would say he doesn't like me too much. Hey, did you see what happened with the FBI today? They caught them cold. Comey either has the worst memory in history. Did you see? I don't remember that. Did you spy on President Trump's campaign? Gee, I don't remember that. Did you go for a coup? Did you go for a coup? I don't remember. I know. I'll tell you, we caught him cold. It's about time that something happens, okay? It's about time that something happens. It's enough. We got plenty of information on these crooks. Bunch of crooks. Thing like that's never happened in the history of our country, and it's about time that something happens. We rescinded the federal withdrawal in Superior National Forest. You'll know all about that, you people especially, to restore mineral exploration for the iron ore miners in Minnesota. What we've done for Minnesota. I lose Minnesota, I'm never coming back. I don't care. I'm never coming back. We protected Iron Range workers from frivolous lawsuits. That was a big deal, right? The frivolous lawsuits. We started construction on the Sioux Lock to get iron ore to market very quickly. So not only did we open it, we get it to market. We fixed the locks because you couldn't even get it out. Those things were so old and broken. Now they're going to be very shortly in perfect shape. I opened up permitting for copper, nickel mining. Anybody involved there? Oh. It sounded a little far out, but you got a lot of people doing that. And I strongly support the replacement of the decaying Line 3 pipeline. We're going to replace it. It's all done. It's all done. All of this is why 9 Democrat mayors of cities in the Iron Range have endorsed me over Sleepy Joe Biden. Are they here tonight? I don't know if they're here tonight. These people are fantastic. Look at these great congressmen. Where are they? Oh, stand up. Wow. We had a ceremony a month ago where I introduced every one of them. You know, I'm not introducing you again. It's freezing out here. But I want to thank you. You're great people, great mayors, and I appreciate the support very much. These are Democrats that want to vote for Trump, that endorsed me fully. We've done a good job over there. Everything in good shape, right? Good. Thank you very much. It's a great honor. If Joe gets in, the radical left will shut down the Iron Range forever. It's going to be gone. They're not going to be able to open it again. Not easy to open a thing like that. Not easy. A lot more difficult than people would think. Earlier today, I took another historic step for your state when I signed an executive order providing billions of dollars to jumpstart production of critical and other minerals, which will create countless jobs that are so important for our country. Minerals. I will always protect the state of Minnesota. I will do that. It's been very good to me. We almost won it. We almost won it. One more speech. I had a choice. Do I do Michigan, which we won? I should have done them both. One more speech. We lost by very little. Think of that, though. Hasn't been won by a Republican. I don't get that because the Democrats have done such a lousy, pathetic job. Hasn't been won since 1972. Reagan lost it. It was the only state he lost, remember? So we're going to change that. We've got to change it. Who's going to do what we've done for you? Right? Another massive issue for Minnesota is the election of Joe Biden's plan to inundate your state with a historic flood of refugees. Biden and crazy Bernie Sanders have agreed on a manifesto. Did you see last night? I didn't agree. After the show, they said, oh, actually he did. Oh, great. They fact-checked. They found out he made a mistake, slight mistake. It's the worst thing you've ever seen. But they pledged a 700% increase in refugees. 700%. Congratulations, Minnesota. Congratulations. Now, and what about Omar, where she gets caught harvesting? What the hell is going on? I hope your U.S. attorney is involved. What is going on with Omar? I've been reading these reports for 2 years about how corrupt and crooked she is. Let's get with it. Let's get with it. I mean, frankly, harvesting's terrible, but it's the least of the things that she has done. How the hell? Then she tells us how to run our country. Can you believe it? How the hell did Minnesota elect her? What the hell is wrong with you people? Right? What the hell happened? These guys in the stand up. Are you a big fan of Omar? I don't think so. Stand up. Look at this guy. It looks like nobody's going to fight him. I don't think you're a big fan of Omar, right? No, she's been crooked for a long time. This is the least of it. It's time. And you know what? AOC also. It's time. It's time. You take a look at the corruption, the disgusting corruption. 700% increase, refugees coming from the most dangerous places in the world, including Yemen, Syria, and your favorite country, Somalia, right? You love Somalia. This guy loves Somalia. Biden will turn Minnesota into a refugee camp, and he said that. Overwhelming public resources, overcrowding schools, and inundating your hospitals. You know that. It's already there. It's a disgrace what they've done to your state. It's a disgrace, okay? Biden has even pledged to terminate our travel ban on jihadist regions, opening the floodgates to radical Islamic terrorism. Remember, I used to talk about it all the time. I got a ban. Remember they said he'd never be able to get a ban? And then I lost at the lower court. I lost at the Court of Appeals. And they said, he lost in Houston. Then I won at the Supreme Court. They didn't even report it. Yeah. And they still say he lost on the travel ban. He lost. But they're talking about the first two courts. They forget to say that at the Supreme Court we won. These are the most dishonest people. It's hard to believe, actually. But look at all those cameras. That's a lot. They love it. I love, every time I'm getting ready, you know, they've gotten very good at this. Every time I'm getting ready to hit them, the lights just go off. You know those red lights? My administration is keeping terrorists, extremists, and criminals out of our country, and we're keeping them the hell out of Minnesota. And we've ended the refugee influx into your state. You were one of the most hard-hit states for whatever reason. We've ended it. You know that, right? Do you know that? Does anybody know this? Does anybody know this? I don't think they tell you about it, but, you know, they talk about the suburbs, women in the suburbs. I ended a regulation that nobody would have done. This brings public housing, low-income housing into the suburbs. And by the way, just so we can get this right, 30% of the people in the suburbs are low-income people. 30% of the people in the suburbs are minorities. And so we're ruining this American dream for everybody. But he's got a plan. It's the worst thing you've ever seen, having to do with zoning. They zone you out. They build low-income housing next to your house. It's crazy. And then I hear, I'm not doing well in the suburbs. I'm not doing well in the suburbs. Are you people crazy? Are you crazy? I just explained this. No, I just explained it. Thank you. No, it's crazy. And they came to me, great people, Ben Carson, a lot of great people, and they came to me and they said, sir, why don't we just amend it? I said, no, really, I want it out. I want it over. I want it ended. Well, it would be a lot easier to amend it. I said, no, I want it over. It's not right. It's killing your suburbs. And it is. It's killing your suburbs. And then they say, women in the suburbs don't like President Trump. I don't think so. That happened last time. Remember? That happened last. Remember last time? They said he will not do well with women. He will not do well with women. He will not do well with women. These were the idiots on election night 4 years ago. He will not do. This will be a very short night for Donald Trump at the time. This will be a very short. Then at the end they said he did really well with women. That was sort of weird. Anyway, we did well with everybody, actually, and we're going to do even better now. We have more enthusiasm. Look at this crowd. This was supposed to be a few people. This was supposed to be just a little celebration. I said, oh, good, a little celebration. I figured a couple of hundred people like Sleepy Joe gets in his best day. I said, how many people? About 10,000, sir. I said, oh, that's nice. In just 3.5 years, we've secured America's border, rebuilt awesome power of the U.S. military, obliterated the ISIS caliphate, fixed our disastrous trade deals, and they were a disaster, and brought jobs back home to America and back home to Minnesota. We brought a lot of jobs back. Last year, before the plague came in from China, you had the best year you've ever had. The year before that, you had the best year you've ever had until the following year. And we're doing it again. We're building it up rapidly. China came up. They gave us the plague. It's no good. We're never going to forget that. I did a trade deal. The ink wasn't even dry. And they let that happen. We're never going to forget it. We built the greatest economy in the history of the world, and now we are quickly doing it again. We've added a historic 10.6 million jobs in the last 4 months. That's a record, the likes of which has never even been close to being challenged. To fight the China virus, we launched the largest national mobilization since World War II. We pioneered life-saving therapies, reducing the fatality rate 85% since April. Think of that, meaning you go to the hospital and you got a lot better chance. I'll tell you what, I spoke to a gentleman today from Pfizer. I speak to all of these guys. These are great people, and they're coming up with things that are phenomenal. Regeneron, we are coming up with things that are phenomenal, including therapeutics or therapies. It's incredible what's happening. You'll be seeing it. You'll be seeing it very. And by the way, with Biden, it would have been years before you came up with any of this stuff. Years. It would have been years. He complains, you didn't act fast enough, and yet he's all over the place calling me xenophobic because I closed the border. Okay, how do you figure that one? This guy, just a politician. He's just another politician. 47 years, he hasn't done a damn thing. But now he's going to. But now he's going to. I haven't done anything in 47 years, but now I'm going to. Europe is almost a 50% greater excess mortality rate than the United States. You don't hear that. Through Operation Warp Speed, we will develop and distribute a vaccine in record time. It's going to be very, very soon. And before the end of the year, maybe sooner than that. On November 3rd, Minnesota will decide whether we end this pandemic, defeat the virus, and return to record prosperity. Either way, we're returning. Either way. We're going to have the vaccine. We're rounding the turn. Well, whether we allow Joe Biden to kill the recovery, you know, he wants a shutdown. This guy says, let's shut it down. A lot of death caused by shutdown. Depression, death, drugs, alcoholism. Horrendous family fights, horrendous family fights. And he wants to destroy those suburbs by abolishing single-family zoning. All of these things are just a horrible thing, what he wants to do. And I think he's going to do it because he's not smart enough to understand that the other side has big problems. You know, we did something great. We had the greatest economy in history, and we had to close it down because we would have lost millions of lives. And now we're opening it up, and we're doing it at a level like nobody's ever seen before. And it's a great thing. And we're going to be back in business very soon, except for some Democrat states. And they'll all open up. They're going to all open up right after November 3rd. They'll announce. We'd like to tell you that we're all opening up November 4th. Did you see the one group? They said, we're opening up, yeah, right after the election. I think we'll open up. Oh, that's great. These are terrible people. Because they're more interested in politics than they are in the lives of people. They want to confiscate your guns and indoctrinate your children with this poisonous anti-American rhetoric and lies. To combat the toxic left, and you see this, that toxic left-wing propaganda in our schools, we are launching a new pro-American lesson plan for students called the 1776 Commission. We will teach our children the truth about America, that we are the most exceptional nation on the face of the earth. That's what I want them to hear. We are joined tonight by some real warriors, friends of mine. They fight with, they just win. They know how to win. I'm telling you, you have some great ones. And they really are. They're great people. The impeachment hoax, they fought it so great. These are real warriors. I call them warriors. Representatives Tom Emmer, Jim Hagedorn, and Pete Stauber, great hockey player. Oh. And I'll tell you, we have some incredible congressional candidates that we're going to work because we got to get Nancy Pelosi the hell out of there, and we're very proud. We have some candidates. Tyler Christner. Where's Tyler? Where's Tyler? Thank you, Tyler. Great job. I hear great things, Tyler. A man with the greatest name in politics, Lacey Johnson. Great guy. Great guy. And somebody that's going to help us a lot, along with Tyler and Lacey, Michelle Fishback. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. We're going to be working with you. And they all have my total endorsement. You know that, okay? The next U.S. Senator from Minnesota is a man who was born for this position, unlike your current senator, who nobody knows who the hell she is. Who is she? I said, who is she? Is she in the Senate? Jason Lewis. Jason. Thank you, Jason. Great job you're doing. We got to get Jason in. Got to get them all in. RNC co-chairman Tommy Hicks. Tommy Hicks. Thank you, Tommy. And Mike Lindell, he makes more pillows, this guy. He makes more pillows. Thank you, Mike. He goes to a lot of my rallies. He likes these rallies. And we like him. Here as well tonight is 96-year-old World War II veteran, Dr. John Ringsred. Whoa, look at you. Whoa. You look great, John. Wow. You look good, handsome. Thank you, John. Thank you very much. It's an honor, John. After years of rebuilding other nations, we are finally rebuilding our nation. In 2017, I signed a very historic executive order, making it difficult and really just looking at what government policy has to do in order to buy American and hire American. You ever see Biden? He's got a sign, buy American. I said, he got it from me. I've been doing this for a long time. He copies my campaign, copies our plans. He copies a lot. You haven't heard that before. He invested $2.5 trillion in the military. We put $2.5 trillion in. We have the best weapons, all made in the USA. We have the greatest weaponry we've ever had. No country has ever come close to the kind of firepower we have. Hopefully, hope to God we never have to use it. We have firepower and weapons, and the Republicans did it because the Democrats don't. We have to have that. Otherwise, we're going to be at the mercy of other countries. We have the greatest firepower, the greatest weapons in the history of the world. Hope to God that we never have to use them. And we launched a new branch of the U.S. Armed Forces, first since the Air Force in 75 years. It's called the Space Force. That's a big deal. We killed the founder and leader of ISIS, al-Baghdadi, gone. We took out the world's #1 terrorist, and the murder of so many American troops and plenty of other troops. Qasem Soleimani is no longer with us. I withdrew from the last administration's total disaster, the Iran nuclear deal, okay? Obama gave him $150 billion. That was bad, but he gave him $1.8 billion in cash. How the hell do you do that? What does $1.8 billion in cash look like? They must have looked at that. They said, man, plane loads of cash. I kept my promise, recognized the true capital of Israel, and opened the American embassy in Jerusalem. I also recognized Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights, and instead of endless wars, we are forging peace in the Middle East. And I was nominated for 3 Nobel Prizes, and not once, I didn't get one song. I didn't get one song. I have to tell you, because they refused to write it. When Obama got his Nobel Prize, they didn't, I mean, it was the biggest story I've ever seen, right? And he didn't even know why he got it. He got it like immediately upon taking office. What a difference. But I told my first lady, I told our first lady, darling, you're going to be so proud of me tonight. We're going to watch television. And you're not going to believe how big this got. What happened? What happened? Darling, I was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize for Israel, right? Bahrain, United Arab Emirates. And then again, I was nominated again for Serbia, Kosovo, all different. Then I was nominated a 3rd time. But I said, first time, 2nd time I was a little bit, yeah, I know, I love you too. But I said to our First Lady, watch this tonight, darling. It's going to be. And I turned to Lester Holt, #2 show. I turned to Lester Holt. And they covered one story was about rain. Another was about the environment. Another was about something else. Another was a bad hit on me. Another was something else. So now we're through with about half of it. Now they went to the longest commercial I've ever seen. Not supposed to. You know, when you report the fake news, you're not supposed to get free airtime from the U.S. government, right? Does anybody know what that means? And then they went on to the second half. Again and again and again. She looked at me, darling, I don't think they're going to cover this. I said, it's impossible. It's a nomination for the Nobel Peace Award. It's impossible. Guess what? It ended. We got nothing. Then 3 days later, we got nothing. And on the third time, I said, let's not even watch. We're not going to get any. These people are sick. But I did more in 47 months than Sleepy Joe Biden did in 47 years. And now he's pushing the most far-left platform in history. The Biden plan would destroy Social Security and destroy protections for people with pre-existing conditions. Give free federal health care to all illegal aliens, bankrupting Medicare. Well, you know what's going to happen. They're going to pour into our country. When you hear that, they're going to come in. They're very smart, very sophisticated. You'd be surprised. Ban school choice and ban all charter schools. No more charter schools, no more school choice. Well, we're making a lot of progress. In the second term, I will provide school choice to every parent in America. A vote for Republicans is a vote for safe communities, great jobs, and a limitless future for all Americans. And in conclusion, over the next 4 years, we will make America into the manufacturing superpower of the world. And we will end our reliance on China once and for all. Did you see what he said last night about manufacturing? Well, Obama said we're not going to ever have manufacturing again. You need a magic wand. Last night he said we're doing manufacturing. No. They gave up on manufacturing. I have almost 700,000 manufacturing jobs. I said, how can you lose manufacturing? These bad news, they lie. We will make our medical supplies right here in the United States. We will hire more police, increase penalties on assaults. And we will ban deadly sanctuary cities. We will uphold religious liberty, free speech, and the right to keep and bear arms. Second Amendment. We will strike down terrorists who threaten our citizens, and we will keep people out of our country. Thank you. But we will keep out of these ridiculous, endless wars in countries that you've never heard of and you never will hear of. It's ridiculous. And we're bringing them all home. You see that. We will maintain America's unrivaled military might, and we will ensure peace through strength. That's what we have. Ridiculous. We're all over the world. We're in places nobody ever heard of before. We will end surprise medical billing. Require price transparency. I've already signed it. Can you believe it kicks in on January 1st? Can you imagine if this clown gets in and they'll say, you got price transparency. What's that? That'll have such an impact. It kicks in. I said to my people, do you think you could have kicked it in a little bit earlier? And further reduce health insurance premiums and the cost of prescription drugs, which we're going to be bringing down massively because of favored nations. We will strongly protect Medicare and Social Security, and we will always protect those incredible people, as I said, with pre-existing conditions. America will land the first woman on the moon, and the United States will be the first nation to land an astronaut on Mars, and it will be soon. You have to see NASA has become again the greatest space center in the world. You had to see what it looked like when I took over. It was terrible. We will stop the radical indoctrination of our students and restore patriotic education to our schools. Right? We will teach our children to love our country, honor our history, and always respect our great American flag. And we will live by the timeless words of our national motto, "In God we trust." For years you had a president who apologized for America. Now you have a president who is standing up for America and standing up for the great people of Minnesota. Thank you. But if we don't win, I'm never calling you great again. So get your friends, get your family, get your neighbors, and get your co-workers and get out and vote. We got to win. We got to win. Early voting has already begun. Don't wait. Please go out and vote. Did you see in New York today? 100 100,000 fraudulent ballots. They sent out 100,000 ballots. Wrong names, wrong addresses, wrong envelopes. Other than that, they did quite well. Think of it, 100,000. So you know what their solution? That's okay, we'll send out another 100,000. I said, really? What's going to happen to the first 100,000? Who's going to vote them? This is crazy what's going on. This is crazy. From St. Paul to St. Cloud, from Minneapolis to Minnetonka, and from Rochester to right here in Duluth. I like Duluth. This great state was pioneered by men and women who braved the wilderness and the winters to build a better life for themselves and for their families. They were truly brave, brilliant, incredible people. They were tough and they were strong. They didn't have a lot of money. They didn't have a lot of luxury, but they had grit, they had faith, and they had each other. They were miners and lumberjacks, fishermen and farmers, shipbuilders and shopkeepers, but they all had one thing in common. They loved their families, they loved their country, and they loved their God. Proud citizens like you help build this country, and together we are taking back our country. We are returning power to you, the American people. With your help, your devotion, and your drive, we are going to keep on working, we are going to keep on fighting, and we are going to keep on winning, winning, winning. It's true. We're going to keep on winning. You know, Minnesota, maybe I'll just do it real sick because we need Jason. Jason, where's Jason? Jason's going to come. Jason Lewis, going to be your senator. You're going to win so much. You know that one, right? You've heard it. Should I do it or not? But this beautiful crescendo of a speech, and now I have to ruin it with this story with Jason, but let's do it anyway. But we're going to win so much. Because Minnesota, before I came around, was not doing too well, okay? Was not doing too well. Then you had your best years ever. But we're going to win so much, and you're going to go and see your great senator, Jason Lewis. He's going to say, and you're going to see Emmer, and you're going to see all of them. And you're going to say, Mr. Senator, please go see the president. We're winning too much. We can't stand it, sir. Minnesota, we're not used to winning this much. It's too much, sir. Please, go see. Well, I don't want to do that. Please, Senator, go see the president. We're winning too much. We cannot stand it. For years, we've done poorly before he came along. Now we're doing so well. And we're growing now stronger than ever before. We don't want to win so much, Mr. Senator. So your senator's going to come in. Hi, Jason. How you doing? Sir, Minnesota's winning too much. We have to stop it. I said, what are you talking about? Sir, we have to stop it. It's just too much winning. We have to stop it. I say, Jason, let me tell you. I know the people of Minnesota, and they love winning. They're going to keep winning. We're going to win. We're going to win so much. We're going to keep on winning, and you're going to have the greatest year that you've ever had next year and the year after, and that's where it's heading. So I just want to thank you. And Jason, I'm sorry. I will not follow your wish. Thank you very much. But we're one movement. We're one family. We're one beautiful people and one glorious nation under God. And together with the incredible people of Minnesota, we will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, Minnesota. Go out and vote. Thank you.
The President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, is finished with his remarks now in Duluth, Minnesota. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight here on Right Side. We broke another record tonight, 120,000 plus concurrent viewers tonight. That is a new all-time record for us on YouTube. We hope to see these records being broken, a new record being broken every day. Can't thank you enough for sending us to all these events. We are honored and humbled to be able to play this role We beat Fox News again tonight. We beat everybody else tonight in the streaming ratings, despite being blocked in the YouTube search results. That is a testament to what we have built because of you. You have helped us, and we appreciate all of you so much, more than you know. I want to thank the moderators tonight. Thank you for keeping our chat room safe, and appreciate all of you and your time. I want to thank Liz and Mike, doing a great job on the ground. We aren't done. We're going to be in Florida. We're headed to Orlando, and we will be down there on Friday. It's going to be a big event. We got Father Frank Pavone. Those of you who enjoyed his appearance in Jacksonville will get a chance to see him again. He's our Florida correspondent now, Father Frank is. We'll have him along with Grace Saldana and Mike Nificent. And then we're headed to Wisconsin for a doubleheader on Saturday. College football fans, if you're going to watch, make sure you keep us open in another window. So it's going to be big in Wisconsin, especially Green Bay on Saturday night. We're going to have special guest host with us, Brick Suits. You know, the Brick Suit guy, the guy that's always in a suit that looks like a brick wall. He's going to be with us in Green Bay, so you don't want to miss it. Lastly, I will ask all of you to please subscribe if you're not already. We are almost at 600,000 subscribers. We'd like to get to 1 million if possible by the end of the year. So if you could do that, subscribe, because you'll get notified when we go live for every event. We'll go back to Mike and Liz live now in Duluth, but first, just wanted to say thank you all again so much. If you can support us, please consider making a donation to our 2020 travel fund. You know, we haven't missed one of these yet. Our technology has improved, our production quality has improved, and that's all because of you and your donations. We just bought 3 new camera rigs. We are ready to go. We're going to be at every single one of these. I make the commitment to you to do everything possible to be at every single one between now and November 3rd to help President Trump be reelected, if you will continue to support us. rsbnetwork.com/donate. Can't thank y'all enough. God bless you. We will see you back here Friday from Sanford, Florida, just down the road from Orlando. And now back to Mike and Liz on the ground in Duluth.
Broadcasting Network. We are live right now just out of President Trump's remarks, live from Duluth, Minnesota. President Trump has just exited the stage. He's boarding Air Force One as we speak, and still waving goodbye to his thousands of supporters that are waiting to see President Trump and get their one little glimpse of getting a wave or a high five or a thumbs up. You can see them waving goodbye right now. Incredibly excited to wave goodbye to their president. That was a very cool moment. I have yet to see the crowd just erupt to say goodbye like that. A lot of excitement as they're leaving, dancing along to the sounds of YMCA. They are holding up signs of Fill That Seat, Black Voices for Trump, 4 more years, Make America Great Again, Veterans for Trump, Peaceful Protest, all different types of signs, including Making Logging Great Again. President Trump absolutely had a lot of excitement here today in Duluth, Minnesota, for a state that hasn't voted red since 1972. A state he narrowly lost to Hillary Clinton by 1.5 percentage points. I think this is absolutely going to be a state to watch come November 3rd. Mike, what do you think of that and about today's rally? Do you think it might have swayed voters and encouraged them to get out and vote on November 3rd?
Absolutely, as I'm dancing in here, because, you know, for one, it's warming me up to dance, but for two, the crowd is fired up. If you just look at the people over here, not only are they pointing us out, they see me with this Make America Great Again hat on, and they are excited. They're excited to vote for President Trump on November 3rd. Minnesota will turn red for President Trump. It's a matter of time. You look at these people over here, they love it. They love it. Trump 2020. They love seeing that they have an ally up here in the media. They love seeing that we're showing them to you, the viewer, who's sharing it on Facebook, on Twitter, everywhere, sending it to people, because we are reporting the truth. And yes, President Trump will win because it is a team effort. We're coming together. Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, Puerto Rican, candy stripe, it does not matter. That's how we're going to get President Trump elected. And he's going to win Minnesota, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Florida. He's going to win all the swing states, Ohio. Who knows? He might sneak in Oregon or something. Most of these states are red. If you take out the blue cities, they love Right Side Broadcasting. Look at these fans. Look at these amazing fans. They love us. They love seeing the MAGA hat, and they love seeing the media. They love seeing us report this fairly. Because we're doing the right thing. The right thing is to tell the truth. It feels good to be on the right side of history, doesn't it, guys? It feels great. Now, I want you all to know that we are going to be in Sanford, Florida on Friday. I will be the correspondent on Friday, Sanford, Florida. Then Saturday, President Trump will be in Wisconsin. Both, I forget the first city's name, but the second city is Green Bay. Okay, and there's going to be several other rallies. We are almost entirely viewer funded, so your donations go a long way to us being able to go to these rallies, okay? So there's several different ways you can donate. You can go to rsbnetwork.com/donate. You can donate via Super Chat, okay? We have PayPal. There's several different ways you can donate. That's how we will be able to go to these rallies. Be on the right side of truth, right side of history. One nation under God. You know, this is the warmest I've felt all day. Just seeing this crowd, they're smiling, they're happy. Most of the time when they walk by the media, honestly, sometimes they're flipping the media off. Sometimes they're angry. And why wouldn't they be angry? The media has rightfully earned their terrible reputation. But we're restoring some truth, some honesty, some trust, and some integrity to the media. They love seeing this. Also, guys, what you need to do is subscribe to RSB Network. Hit the bell notification so you will be notified every time we go live. Also, make sure that you share. Hold on, I'm getting the stream pulled back up here because I want to give you guys some more shout outs here. Because I know we got new members, we got super chats. Austin Shoulder, thank you very much. Gabe the Great says, Trump 2020, support RSBN. God bless you. DD Righteous said, Trump, the one and only. Thanks, RSBN. And we've got, hold on. We got new member. Oh, Gabe the Great gave another super chat. Thank you. And another. You gave us quite a bit. Thank you, Gabe the Great. Carolyn Zah, thank you very much. New member, Dave Williamson, I think I pronounced it right. Kevin Lewis, thank you for becoming a new member. Republican Carol, thank you, Republican Carol. We love you. God bless you. Time to Heal, thank you for the super chat. New member, Casey Mills. Super chat. Cup Kale said, thank you, RSB, and for all your work, making this happen for us across America and beyond. God bless RSBN, the USA, and God bless President Trump. God bless you. God bless every single last one of you watching. This is amazing. We're having a blast over here. We're literally dancing. And the energy was a little bit, soft starting out, but everybody's fired up now. Everybody's warmed up. President Trump was hitting on all cylinders as he normally does. But as we wrap up here, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to Right Side Broadcasting. Again, Friday, we will be in Sanford, Florida. Make sure that you subscribe to RSBN so you'll be notified when we go live. Follow me on Twitter if you want to follow me, MikeNificent813. Sub to my YouTube channel, MikeNificent. And sub to Right Side Broadcasting. Support us as we get this president reelected. And if Joe's okay in the studio, we're just going to go ahead and wrap right now with all these amazing supporters here for President Trump. We just want to say thank you for tuning in tonight. God bless you for watching. God bless President Trump. And God bless the United States of America. Good night.